I'll tell you what, too, man. Liam Cohen is so goofy. I keep forgetting his name.
You telling me he's like that Key and Peele, meme?
A little bit, like Obama. Yeah. Liam Cohen gives me Obama vibes.
That's a take.
That's not. I just made that up. But I might be the first person in the world to ever say that. So Liam Cohen
the
gives
first
me
NFL
Obama
Utah
vibes.
Jazz trivia in the first podcast to compare Liam Cohen
To
Barack Obama.
To Barack Hussein Obama.
We need Barack Obama to say Duval like that too now. We need them both.
Duval.
Oh God, nah. Yeah, Liam's probably that guy. But we got off topic. Kellen Moore, gone though. He's gone. No chance. All right. We'll see. If Kellen Moore wins the Super Bowl, we're gonna clip this, and me and Kellen Moore, we're gonna clown you together.
What do you think about Kellen Moore? You haven't made your take.
Ask me who the quarterback is in 2 years, and then I'll let you know.
No. I gave you a definitive Kellen Moore projection. The Kellen Moore prognosis. The Kellen Moore.
All right, here's this. If Spencer Rattler is 80% of the player that we thought he could be when he was at Oklahoma a long time ago, but at Oklahoma, I think he's got a chance. I mean, Michael Penix is going to take, obviously, some time to get caught up to speed.
Michael Penix.
Michael Penix is going to take some time to get caught up to speed.
Of course.
And the Falcons, and then you go to the Panthers. They're dog shit doo-doo. They're not doing nothing. I mean, Bryce Young is improving. They're improving, but, they got some ways to go. And then, who else in the division? Bucks?
The Bucks.
We'll see.
We'll see how important Liam Cohen actually is.
They lost that guy. They lost to Duval. So we'll see. They could take a step back. Hey, hold on. Let's try to get it in sync. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Duval.
Oh wait, we were doing the. All right, hold loud. 3, 2, 1. Duval. Welcome to another episode of Couch Coach the podcast, featuring an all-star staff of the best to never do it. Without a couch, you're just a coach. Without a coach, it's just a couch. With both, you're one of us. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you got some shit to say, leave a comment. And now for your first couch coach, we have the one and only Mr. 500, Mr. Bountiful Harvest, the world's biggest Nico Collins fan, and rumor has it, he doesn't live in a gated community, but he does live in a community with a gate. He's a man in many names, but you can call him Johnny.
I like Mr. Bountiful Harvest. I hear that and I go, that's sick. No one knows what that means, but I do like that name. Mr. Bountiful Harvest is sick. Folks, today is a beautiful day. It is the official start of me ending my tenure as a full-time NFL fan, picking up shifts as a Knicks fan on the weekends, and now I am a full-time New York Knicks fan starting yesterday. And it's a great way to start that out because tonight the Knicks just clobbered the Pacers. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
And for your last couch coach, we have yours truly, founder of Omnipresence Productions, co-founder of the Couch Coach Pod. Some call me Akira, some call me Commissioner, but you can call me Kuji. And unfortunately, being a full-time Jazz fan these days is not as fun as being a full-time Knicks fan. But we'll get there, Johnny. We'll get there. We're going to get Cooper Flag next year. And then from there, it's only
the 90s will be back soon. Someday we'll get the 90s back when both of our teams were good. I think that's the last time both of our teams were good at the same time.
They never met.
It had to be the 90s, right? No, they never met in the finals. But I'm just saying that, at the same time, I think, the last time you guys were really good was
maybe 2010.
Was Donovan and Rudy. And while you had Donovan and Rudy, we had nobody.
No,
And then like
when you guys had Melo, we had Darren Williams and Jerry Sloan.
But were you guys legitimately competitive then?
We were
like, were you like
we were a top 5
like,
seed consistently.
Yeah, but like,
No, we weren't. I nobody had us winning it. Nobody had us winning it, though.
Right. I say that as a Knicks fan who we could barely even make it out of the first round with Melo. So
yeah, that was about us. We lost to the Lakers. Lakers was our downfall.
Yeah, I mean, what you were in the same conference as the Kobe Lakers, the Duncan Spurs. I can understand how it might be kind of tough to do anything, and it was like right at the beginning of like when Memphis was really good too.
Yep, Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol, Mike Conley,
young
Mike Conley.
Yeah, that was a fun team. Tony Allen, prime Tony Allen. It is just defensive shit record prime.
Harden and Westbrook on OKC.
Oh man, I completely forgot about OKC at that time. Yeah, OKC. Yeah, I mean, man. I'm so ready. I'm so ready to get into just doing full NBA. There's something that's just so nice and holistic about the NBA. Like, I love the NFL. Don't get me wrong. It like engrosses me. But then it's like, there's something about the NBA where you just say an old school player's name that doesn't play anymore. And you're like, fuck yeah, that's so sick. Like, you're like young Tony Allen. And I'm like, or not young Tony Allen, like prime Tony Allen. And you're like, that's so sick. Prime Tony Allen was a beast. And I feel like the NFL doesn't give me that. The idea of thinking about Tony Allen locking up Kobe in his prime is just great.
We had some crazy 2K games back then on the Wii too.
Mike Bibby
Raja
guy.
Bell.
Yes, sir. 2K on the Wii.
Had you going like,
man,
with the hole with the stick and everything. But anyway.
Oh yeah, the dude.
We're gonna.
That's so funny.
We're gonna get started here, Johnny. Now, in this Super Bowl edition of Couch Coach, we are starting with my favorite segment, 4th and Goal. A winner-takes-all trivia showdown where 2 couch coaches enter, and one is crowned victorious. Now, coming off our lowest scoring 4th and Goal of all time, we're hoping for a good old shootout here. But Johnny, flip that coin. Let's see who's picking. I got tails.
All right,
you're the loser.
Come up
you
tails.
Lost, so you pick.
No, I won last time.
Nah, don't even try to lie to the people. 7-0, I won. 7-0 when I guessed the Rams, and I had no idea I was going with.
But I thought that I broke the three-peat last time.
Nah, that was 2 weeks ago, bro. Come on now.
Oh man, okay, we're back.
I'm going for that back-to-back. I'm in Drake mode.
All right, understood. I'm all jumbled up. A lot of things have happened since then. Okay, this might be the last time we use this coin. It's come up heads twice in a row. I do remember this, so we're gonna do it.
Is it heads on both sides?
No, I can show you. We've got, this is heads. That's Padre Pio, and then this is tails. It's got a little quote. The quote says, "Pray, hope, and don't worry." All right. Ready? You're doing tails, of course. I swear to God, that's heads. Do you see that? I think we retired this one.
Show me.
Oh, I mean, that's what it looks like.
Now
but
because you could have just.
Yeah, if you check the playback, you'll see it like slide off my hand like this.
Nah, I trust you. I deal in good faith.
Man, if we go 5 times in a row, that's crazy.
It.
That's statistically almost impossible.
I have to do best 2 out of 3. Or do rock, paper, scissors, shoot or some shit like that.
I have a handful of other interesting big coins, so we can pick a different one. I just don't want to have to get up and pick it up.
Do you want to receive the question or do you want to kick the question?
I'll receive the question. I like receiving the question.
All right, you're gonna receive the question.
Yeah. So what's the theme for this one? As it is the Super Bowl, the post Super Bowl show. So what is the question, of course, or the theme, of course?
What is the theme? NFL, buddy.
Yeah, for the post Super Bowl episode.
We're just doing NFL. We'll wrap it up. We'll get into the basketball. That next one. This is just gonna be NFL.
Are we? Wait. Did I misread the text you sent me?
Man, first you tried to lie, And now you're trying to lie on my name? Nah, listen. Yeah, I texted you. I said, I said NFL. Next time, we're going to get into, I'm not going to give it away right now, but.
This is so funny. Wait. I fully misread this question. I misread the text completely. Oh my god, that's so funny. You said not LOL NFL, not just not any specific nature. I think NBA, you ask me Jazz and I'll ask you Knicks. See who knows their team more. And that was, I think, all I read. So I have a list of Jazz questions. That's so funny. I have a list of Jazz questions. Oh, damn.
I guess.
All right, you ask me NFL questions, and I'll ask you Jazz questions.
All right. We have an NFL Utah Jazz themed trivia showdown.
Yeah, of course. This is the only show on the internet that has.
That's how we transition.
Right. This is the only show on the internet that has an NFL / Utah Jazz themed trivia segment.
Never been done before.
So,
first time in history.
Amazing. It's the first Trailblazers. That's so funny. All right, so next week I'll bring NFL questions. You bring Knicks questions.
I got it.
That's so funny. Okay.
Question number 1.
Good stuff.
What NFL team has the most regular season wins?
Sheesh, y'all. It's gotta be one of the old teams. I know it's locked up between two, and it goes back and forth between them, but I'm pretty sure this season, maybe it was last season, but the Packers pulled ahead. I think it's the Packers. Green Bay Packers.
Final answer?
Final answer.
You are correct. The final answer, and the correct answer, Green Bay Packers at 810. 7-0. We're already ahead of last time for you, Johnny.
Oh, yeah. I know them and the Bears bounce back and forth between that they're really close consistently.
How do they bounce back and forth when the Bears haven't been within 5 wins of the Packers in 4 years?
Because the Bears are a little older than the Packers, they can consistently be ahead by a little bit, and the Packers in the past couple years have overtaken them. But the Bears had a 10-year start on them, on the Packers.
Gotcha. More games played. All right.
Exactly.
Hit me with it. I'm ready. I'm tied up.
Okay. So, Utah Jazz.
Yep.
All right, let's go with an easy one. This is an easier one. Nothing crazy, okay? Who has the Jazz single game scoring record? Single game. Obviously, we know who the all-time is. Who is the single game? Could be the same guy, but it might not be. You've had some scorers.
Single game all time. So just one game.
One game who scored the most in a Utah Jazz jersey. Technically, or New Orleans Jazz. But Jazz jersey.
It's got to be Donovan Mitchell.
That gonna be your final answer?
There's no way he didn't pass somebody that would have had it.
All right, here's what I'll give you. Before you even do it, I will give you the number and see if it changes your answer.
Okay.
All right. 68 is the number. Do you believe that Donovan Mitchell ever scored 68 points in a game?
If he didn't, I don't know who else did. There's no way that Karl Malone and John Stockton ever scored 68. Jeff Hornacek, we're talking 68? No. Andre Karolinko? No. I mean, guys like Devin Harris, Darren Williams, they never scored 68. There's no shot. Darren Williams would be the most... He'd be the guess out of any of those. I mean, we really haven't had any good players aside from those four. Talking super, super good. Yeah, I'm going Donnie Mitchell.
You're forgetting a very, very good player that you had.
Wait. Okay. Nah, it's too
You're
late.
forgetting a
Too
very good
late.
player that you
Give
had.
it to me. Give it to me. What is it?
That would be Pistol Pete Maravich.
Oh.
Scored 68 points. He is the single game scoring leader for the Utah Jazz. But I believe it was the
Damn.
New Orleans Jazz at the point that he did it.
See, I thought you were
But
trying to trip me up.
no. I was throwing in New Orleans Jazz. I was like, hold on, I don't want to say Utah jersey because I'm pretty sure it was New Orleans at the point that he did it. But yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Pistol Pete.
7-0. You're in the lead. All right. This is an important question for both of us.
Indeed.
Which head coach has the most Super Bowl losses?
All right. So we know. All right, I'm going to start from I'm going to set a benchmark and work backwards. So we know Belichick has 3. So that's the benchmark. I feel like there are people with more, but I know Belichick
you're on the
has.
clock, by the way.
I'm on the clock. Okay. Belichick has 3. Working backwards. Can't believe you clocked me. I didn't fucking clock you. Okay. I don't think it's Mike. Oh my god, it's gonna be the fucking coach of the Bills, and I don't know who it was. I'll kick a field goal and say the coach of the Bills from the Jim Kelly years. That's a field goal. I don't know his name, but that's who I'm gonna say it is.
That's who you're gonna pick?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
The final answer, the correct answer, is Don Shula with 4. Now, I don't know if he was on the Bills. I thought he was on the Dolphins.
No. Yeah, Don Shula lost one with the Dolphins. Right? Didn't he? Don Shula wasn't the coach of the Bills, was he? Am I crazy? Maybe I'm just exposing
He was a Dolphins coach for 25 years.
Right, I was going to say, I feel like
But it was Don Shula.
So when the Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls, are you telling me that wasn't the same coach?
No, must not have been. We got a little Johnny fact check here. He's trying to.
Yeah, I know. I just want to see. I don't know this.
Fact check the producers.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta check. I'm just curious.
In a row, bro, you gotta fire the coach. You can't keep him for a 4th year. Run it back. No,
you would think.
There's no way.
So.
And honestly, if he had a bad year before he made it,
so it's right. So blah, blah, blah. Who was the coach? So all right, the coach is Mark Levy. In 91, 92, or 90, Mark Levy, 91, Mark Levy, 92, Mark Levy, 93, Mark Levy. All 4 of them, Mark Levy.
Really?
Give me that field goal.
He lost all 4.
Yeah, he was the head coach for all of them.
Dang,
that's what it says.
99 right now.
What?
4-time AFC champion. Yeah.
I'm telling you. Give me the field goal at least. Give me that field goal. 10 points. Give me that field goal. I'm telling you. The Buffalo Bills head coach.
Did I get a field goal when I guessed the all-white jerseys last week?
Which one?
Remember the tradition?
Oh, I said that if it came down to a tiebreaker, I'd give it to you. Because that was right. I was like, if it came down to a tiebreaker, I would have given it to you.
I'll give you a field goal.
I appreciate it. Appreciate the field goal. Because that was technically true. Yeah, the all white. All right.
Damn, that's crazy.
Okay. All right, I'll give you a nice little question here, right? Prior to their first season, okay? Yep. This is before their first season, the Jazz.
Okay.
What star did the Jazz trade for to jumpstart their new team?
Prior to their
So this is
first
before the
ever
season.
season.
They're for their first ever season. They trade for a guy before the season starts, a star, a legend, to jumpstart the team. This is in the 70s. This is a guy you know. This is a guy who's foundational to the Jazz.
Huh. Okay.
Legend, star, Hall of Famer. They traded for right at the beginning. Legend, star, Hall of Famer, record holder.
He's a record holder. I mean,
Yeah, Jazz record holder.
Again, there's only like 4 or 5 good players, so we got to go Pistol
Right. But
Pete.
I'm saying
Pistol Pete because I didn't even know Pistol Pete played for the Jazz. I thought he played for the Celtics or some team like that. But like, if we traded for him, that makes sense. So that's got to be him.
It was Pistol Pete. Correct, it was Pistol Pete. Now, Pete played for, I believe in his heyday, he played for the Cavs.
The Cavs?
I believe. Let me double check that I'm not crazy. It was the Cavs, and I think he had a stint with the Hawks as well. But let me double check real quick. He did play for the. No, just Celtics Jazz. Okay, never mind. I thought he had a stint. Oh, I'm thinking Mark Price. That's who I'm getting mixed up. I'm getting
playing 2K back in 2012 with the old teams. He's on the Celtics.
No, I know. Yeah, I'm getting him and Mark Price mixed up. That's the one that played for the Cavs. Another white dude. He did play for the Hawks. That was the other one. Okay, I was gonna say I thought he played for the Hawks as well. But
all right, 10-7.
Very nice, very nice.
10-7. Another important question for the both of us. Question number 3, Johnny, and you are on the clock. Just a reminder, every question you have 30 seconds, unless I deem it necessary for you to have more than 30 seconds. Question number 3. Which college university has produced the most number 1 overall picks in the NFL?
You asked me this the other day. Hold up.
No, it wasn't.
No, is it the number? You asked me which one was the most quarterbacks. The most number 1 quarterbacks was what you asked me the other day. Yes. Number 1 picks across the board. Man. I gotta think. Oh, there's a handful of options. Your gut goes USC, or my gut goes like an SEC team, but I just had a Freudian slip, and what I meant to say was I think my answer is gonna be USC. I can think of a handful of USC guys that went first overall, like they just jump out of my head, so I'm gonna go USC.
That's your final answer?
Yeah, let's do it.
That's correct. USC. They've had 6.
Wow. Yeah, I was just thinking like which one instantly jumps out in my head. And I'm like, I can think of a handful of USC guys that went number 1. And I'm trying to think of multiple of a different school. And I couldn't. And I was gonna say your gut wants to say an SEC team, but I had a Freudian slip. Right, I had a Freudian slip though, and I said my gut wants to say USC. And I'm like, all right, that is what I wanted to say though. So yeah. Yes, sir. All right, I feel good about that. Okay, so what's that? That's
17
to 7.
Right.
All right, beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, here's a fun one. All right. I think you can do this. One. I'd like to think so because I wrote these down just from my head. All right.
Oh, really?
Give me 5 Jazz player nicknames. So I'm a big nickname guy. I always say that I think that the NBA currently and the NFL also suffers from not having enough cool nicknames for their players. Give me 5 Jazz player all time, any Jazz player, but give me their nickname.
All right, Pistol Pete 1.
Pistol Pete. Yep.
The Mailman, Karl Malone.
The Mailman.
2.
Iconic, of course.
AK-47, Andre Karolinko.
Might be the single best nickname in the history of the NBA. Of course, AK-47.
Spida Mitchell.
Spida. Yes, of course. You've said the 4 of the 5 that I have written down. I wrote down just 5. There's one more I've got written down. I think you can pull. I think you got this one.
Ooh. See, the issue is you don't know if I'm making up one you don't know or if it's actually one you don't know.
Theoretically. Yeah, theoretically you could pull one. I think if you pulled one and I was like, that sounds real, I would like let you get away with it. But there's a good one. There's one that you definitely know and I definitely know.
Do they have to be all-time Jazz players or can they just be on the Jazz? Does their nickname have to be a nickname that was established when they were on the Jazz?
Theoretically, no. It depends on who it is, but like Pistol Pete obviously wasn't established on the Jazz, but the one I have written down is a pretty important Jazz player. The one I have written down, but when I say all time, it's like probably if you made an all time 15-man roster of Jazz players, he'd be on it. I don't know if you'd say all time. I don't know if he's in the starting 5, but he's on the list. The guy that I have. But why? What are you thinking?
Well, you got Colin Sexton's nickname is like Young Bull or something like that, or Colin Bull, or it's like Young Bull they call him, but he's not really, you know. But then there's also Derek Fisher, who could argue is D Fish.
This one's more exciting.
Jordan Clarkson they call JC.
No, this one's more fun. It's a fun one.
If it's
and I think you're thinking too hard.
Stockton, I don't know because I have no idea what his nickname is.
No, it's not Stockton. Stockton is first team all-time Jazz. He is the starting point guard in the all-time Jazz team. This guy, you can make the argument. He's definitely on the all-time Jazz team, but is he a starter? I don't know. You're thinking way too hard about it.
I mean, there's Jeff Hornacek, but I don't even know what his nickname would be.
You're still thinking too hard about it. He's more modern Jazz player. He isn't currently on the team.
Rudy? Oh, the Stifle Tower.
The Stifle Tower. There we go. We led you there, but I'll let you have it anyway.
I almost forgot
too much.
I almost forgot Rudy existed.
Yeah, almost, right? Isn't that crazy? But there we go. The Stifle Tower. Yeah, I'm like, I like all those names. I don't like a name that's like based off of the person's name. You know? Like SGA, terrible. That's an awful name.
D Fish.
Like lame. Like come up with a cool name. The Mailman. I mean, the only way you can do it off their name is if it like plays into something else, like AK-47. Like that's sick. Or the Joker, I think is a fine name. Like I know it's like, you know, he's Jokic, whatever, but I like that.
Right.
But you know, I'm missing the Admiral. Like I want a name like the Admiral. I want a nickname like Magic. Like so good of a nickname that's what we call you. You know, right. Diesel. We don't have these names anymore. Shaq Diesel? Like that's so sick. Why don't we have these anymore? You know, honestly, like it was like King James and then nothing else. It was like the King James, and then it just who the fuck else has a nickname? So,
Spida.
Spida's good. I like Spida, but like it doesn't even like it doesn't have this like people don't call him that, and I wish they did. I wish people were like Spida with the dunk. They don't do it though.
Right.
Bang! What's up? So I mean, you know, Rudy Gobert, the Stifle Tower. Like, why do we have this? We're missing something in the NBA. I want nicknames. You know.
Question number 4, Johnny. 17-14.
17-14.
Which NFL stadium has the largest capacity? Now, I want to clarify this before I put you on the clock. Non-expandable capacity. So, natural capacity, as in the seats that are naturally in the stadium, not when they have the ability to expand the stadium beyond what it normally is.
Mm-hmm. That's tough. That's tough. I really have no idea. I'm just going to go off the name of the stadium, okay? Complete flyer on this one. Don't really know. But only one stadium has the word super in the title, so I'm going with the Caesar Superdome.
Is that your final guess? Your final answer?
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with Caesar Superdome.
Okay. It is MetLife Stadium.
Wow. Yeah, I would not have guessed MetLife.
Yeah, shocked me. 82,500. 82,500. That's the most non-expandable. When you expand it, it becomes fourth. AT&T Stadium is the most with 100,000.
And that's Dallas, right?
With it like, expanded.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, I'll take that one. I figured it'd be one in the South. I would not have thought MetLife, so there was no world. If you would give me 5 guesses, I wouldn't have guessed MetLife.
I'll tell you what. When I went there back in September, there was not 82,000 people there.
Hell no. What team do you want to see? Which team that plays at MetLife do you want to show up for at this point?
Right.
All right. Good stuff. Okay.
I'm taking the lead.
Let's go. All right, this is an interesting one. This one's an interesting one that I just found, and then I did some deeper research on it, and it was fascinating to me. So here's the question: who controversially holds the NBA record for the single season dunks? So dunks in a single season. It's a Jazz player, or the player was on the Jazz when they did it. Who? This is what the official NBA record says, but I'll say it's controversial because it is debated because people believe that Shaq had more dunks than this player in his rookie year. But the official NBA record says that it's this guy.
Carlos Boozer.
Is that your final answer?
Yep.
It is not Boozer. It is the Stifle Tower himself, Rudy Gobert. They say in 2019, Rudy Gobert with 306 dunks.
In whose rookie year?
In the believed actual number one is Shaq. Like, this is what fans say. I'm not telling you
all time or in the same season.
In one season.
Oh,
is what I'm saying. Yeah. The single. So I was saying, who controversially holds the NBA record for single season dunks? Dunks in a single season. So it's Rudy Gobert in 2019. They say it was in the 2018-19 season. The listed in the NBA record book says Rudy Gobert with 306. But fans have combed through the footage and believe that Shaq in Shaq's rookie year that he had 322 dunks, and they think that this record is wrong. Really? So, yeah, that's the belief.
Well, are they counting what they saw or what was credited by?
Right, they're saying what they saw, and they're saying that it was credited improperly.
Did they go through Rudy's footage too and see what might have been credited improperly? Right,
that's the problem with keeping track of dunks. Is like you go, well, what is a dunk technically? Like I've heard this. I'm gonna get a little off topic, but I've heard when people talk about like how do you fix the 3-point problem in the NBA that they shoot too many threes? How do you fix this? And one proposal I've heard is you make a slam dunk count for 3 points because then. The argument was the game is a better television product when players are dunking the ball. Therefore, if you make a dunk 3 points, you are now incentivizing players to do the most exciting thing in the game, which is dunk.
And go for
blocks.
And
players are what?
And go for blocks because you don't want now you're going to play hard, you're going to play harder at the rim on defense.
And so somebody was saying that because now players like Ja and Anthony Edwards don't want to dunk as much because it's a dangerous play that only nets you the same amount as a layup, so why would you dunk? So I've heard the argument, make a dunk worth 3 points, then Players are incentivized to do it, and they're not going to take as many threes, and it'll be a better TV product. My only question is, what is a dunk? Like, in the rules, if we have to be able to split hairs and say this is worth either 2 or 3 points, what is the determining factor for what a dunk is? And the fact that there is so much controversy behind who holds this single season dunk record, I think shows you that it is not as cut and dry as people think it is.
Well, right, because you could argue, like, are those things that Blake Griffin was doing where he was just slamming it down from 2 feet away, are those dunks? Like,
right, it's
you're
like
not touching the rim, you're just throwing it down from 2 feet away, like.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's like the really like right above drop it in. Like Wemby does that sometimes. Where like
imagine a
he
bounce,
can get up and just drop it in.
Or imagine a 2-point shot bounce off the rim and you just tap it in. Is that now, or like you just like to do the little dunk tap? Like, is that now a 3?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, it's the same thing I've thought about. Like, if they made the tush push illegal, you would then have to define what is a tush push, what actually makes something a tush push, and what makes something just a quarterback sneak.
Hands
like,
under
is
the
it just a player
ass.
touching you? Right. Is it just a player touching you from behind? Because like that happens all the time in quarterback sneaks. Like once you get in the pile, people start shoving.
Yeah, probably the formation, the way they do it, where they do like the wedge on the sides with those 2 running backs, and then they
whatever it would be, you'd have to define it.
They might have to make it so you can only have running backs in there, because what they do is they bring in people to come block in the backfield. But if you say, hey, only running backs can be back there on that play, might give defense more of an advantage.
Yeah, so I don't know, but whatever it is, that's the thing with if you were going to do something, a rule increasing the dunk's value, you'd have to define the dunk. Anyway, My bad. Rudy Gobert was the answer.
Question number 5. You're up 17-14. You can clinch it right here. The Miracle in MetLife. Oh. The Miracle at the Meadowlands involved what 2 teams?
The Miracle at the Meadowlands. The Meadowlands. Oh, man. I know I've heard of this, but I'm literally going like, in my head, I'm like, the Music City Miracle. I'm like, it's not that. It's not that. It's the Miracle at the Meadowlands. What are the Meadowlands, bro? I don't even fucking know. When was this? When was the Miracle at the Meadowlands? Do you know when it is? Like, just like the decade.
It happened twice, technically. There was one back in the 50s. There was one in the 2010s. And they both had the same 2 teams both times.
Interesting. The Meadowlands. I mean, what could the Meadowlands even be? Like, it's got to be like some middle America shit. I'm like, but I don't know. I could be wrong about this. The Meadowlands in the 50s and then the 2010s. I mean, let's go. Dude, I have no... It's just one team, or I have to have both teams?
Both teams that were playing.
In the Miracle at the Meadowlands. Man, I got no idea. I'm thinking like middle of the country Miracle. I have no idea. You're probably like, it's probably something obvious. I just don't know. I don't know it by this name.
You're going to be so mad when I tell you what it is.
The Steelers and the Broncos. Who is it?
That's your guess?
I don't know. Yeah, sure. Right. I have no idea.
Dude, Deshaun Jackson, punt return. He muffs it. He picks it up. He runs it back 70-plus yards for a TD against the Giants. Eagles-Giants.
I've seen that play.
I watched it live. I watched it live with my dad, bro. It was crazy because he was rooting for the Eagles because of Vic. And when that happened, bro, we went crazy in the living room. It was insane.
I've seen that play a million times. I've never heard of it described as the Miracle of the Meadowlands. I know exactly what play you're talking about because it's one of the plays that one of my favorite genres of sports content to watch is giant sports miracles or great sports moments, winning sports plays set to "My Heart Will Go On" by Celine Dion. It's one of my favorite things. Look it up, folks. If you want to watch some really good sports content, look up like sports moments, "My Heart Will Go On," and just watch that shit. It's so sick. It's amazing. Like the Minneapolis Miracle, but then the second that Stefan catches it, it starts going near, far, wherever you are, and then he runs off, and then everybody gets to the end zone. It's "I believe my heart will go on." It's so sick. I promise you, it's so sick. It's so sick.
17-14. This is for the win right here. This is
okay. So I'll give you a question. I'll give you an option. All right.
Give me a question. Yeah, let's get it.
I'm gonna give you an option here. I can either give you a harder question for the win, or I can give you a very easy question for 3 points and we go to overtime. It's your call.
A harder question for the win, or an easy question for 3 points and we go to overtime.
For 3 points. I guarantee you know the answer to this easy question. Or you can take a swing on it and I've got a harder one.
See, it's tough because I feel like what's easy for you and hard for you in relation to my favorite team could be very different. And I
100%, you 100,000% know the answer to the easy question.
You said that about the first one, bro, and I almost got it wrong.
Well, I said as an easier one, nothing crazy. But this one is actually 100% lock. You would know the answer. Any NBA fan would know the answer to this one.
All right, give me the easy one because the best 3 words in sports. Overtime. The best 3 words in sports, overtime. That was 2 words. 2 words.
So I have to preface this one with, in my opinion.
Hold on.
As far as I'm concerned.
Hold on, because I'm a star, and so that means I need a little brighter lighting because the stars shine bright.
Okay. Understood. So I have to preface this with, in my opinion, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Okay? Allegedly, in my opinion.
I already know the answer before you even answer.
Which jazz legend is a pedophile?
So, Karl Malone.
All right, we're going overtime.
You just wanted to get me on a slander accusation. Is what you wanted.
You should before you answer that question, you should have said allegedly.
Well, I wanted to, but I also don't know if it was proved or not. And if I say allegedly on something that's proved, I look real fucked up.
No, it's calling him a pedophile is the allegedly part. He unallegedly definitely got a 12 to 13-year-old girl pregnant when he was in college. He got a young teenage girl pregnant when he was in college, inarguably. But you calling somebody a pedophile is still, you technically can't do that. Like right. It means something else legally. I think
we thought so. We'll get into that in a minute.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, right. It means something legally different. I think is how it works. So you have to say allegedly. In my opinion, Karl Malone's a pedophile, but I can't actually say it as a fact.
Allegedly.
Well,
we're going to overtime. Johnny, your first question, 17-17.
Mm-hmm.
Before moving to Arizona, what city did the Cardinals originally play in?
This is so fucked up because I just saw this the other day, and I was like, I didn't know that. Holy shit, I'm going to be so mad if I don't remember this. I just freaking saw this. I just F-wording saw this, and I literally thought to myself, that's interesting. I didn't know that. And I'm so mad now. Wow. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. I know this is somewhere in my brain. The only thing that's in my head, I don't think this is right, but I'm just going to say it, Chicago.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You're going to be so mad. St. Louis.
Really? It was St. Louis. Okay.
They have a baseball team there called the St. Louis Cardinals also.
Right, yeah. Okay. Okay,
All right.
that's fair. That's fair.
It's for the win. Now give me that hard one you were going to give me last time. I want.
Okay, I'll give you the one I was going to give you.
I want to see if I would have won it. You know, let me just see if I
Who
would have.
holds the Jazz record for career blocks?
Okay, by default, if it's a hard question, it's not Rudy Gobert. But if you're trying
That's
to play,
good game
but if
theory.
you're trying to run game theory on me, it could be Rudy Gobert because by default, you saying hard, you're eliminating that as an option in my mind.
You would think it's Rudy Gobert.
It's not.
I would
though.
say
He
that
wasn't
does
there.
make
He wasn't there long enough, though.
He was not there long enough. No, this is a guy that spent a long time with the Jazz.
Yeah, but it was not Karl Malone though, because he wasn't a blocker. And I know there was this big black center back next to Karl Malone. I forget what his name was.
It's definitely a name you know. It's a name I know. So it wasn't like I. There is only
Raja
one.
Bell had a lot of blocks, but he wasn't there very long.
No, it's I mean, it's a center. It's a center. It's not Raja Bell because Raja Bell wasn't a center. It is a center. It's a guy you've definitely heard of.
With Al Jefferson,
I know
Paul
this guy.
Millsap.
He was there for a long time. Very tall center. Built to block. And
Was
I'm
he?
just
I think he was foreign. He's either foreign or black. I mean, that's like 80% of the players in the league, but
he's either foreign or black. Very funny.
Oh man. Built to block, not Ennis Cantor.
He's going foreign. That's foreign, Ennis Cantor. But Ennis Freedom, sorry. I would hate to dead name the man. Ennis Freedom.
Yep, Freedom. Man,
No, I mean, he's an undersized center.
I forget this dude's name. He was black, though. Black and bald. Okay. I'm going to have to guess soon because we're definitely getting...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I haven't clocked you, but you got to guess. And I don't think you're going to get it at this point. Just based off how you're thinking, I don't think you're going to get it. I got to be honest. Okay, I'm going to give you one hint, okay? And just because this is a mercy. This is the mercy. I'm going to give you one hint. He is not... He's not black and he's not foreign. This is a white American.
That's actually wild.
This is a white American. He said black and foreign, and I literally can't do it.
Mehmet Okur. No, he's not white American.
It's foreign. Come on, bro, you got this. He's not. He has a white American name. He is a white American through and through. This guy.
A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P. Bro, yeah. I don't know. I got it wrong.
Wow, this is crazy. He was born in Inglewood. What a guy. Shout out. Mark Eaton.
Oh.
Mark Eaton from Inglewood, California.
Yeah.
White American.
I know the name, but it's not. Yeah.
With 3,064 blocks in his career with the Jazz.
He didn't.
3,064. He's 7'4", bro. Huge. Mark Eaton. What a monster.
Crazy.
Yep.
All right. Question number 2 in overtime. Sorry, I'm looking at question number 8, but we're not on question 8.
Yeah.
What pick was Tom Brady?
Oh man, number overall, like the total number. I feel like I actually am like I might have this like around there. Was it like I'm literally got like 2 numbers in my head. I feel like I'm gonna go 252. 252. Final answer.
Before you guess, I'll give you this. If you're within 5 picks over or under, I'll give it to you.
5 picks over under. All right, then I'm gonna go 257 because I'm between 252 and 262. So I'm just gonna go 257.
He was pick 199.
Dang, I don't know why. I was way high. Yeah, I thought he was higher than that. I guess he was what, 5th round pick?
6th round.
6th round.
I mean, 32 times 5 is only at 150. Or 160.
Right. Yeah. Oh, so I'm like way too high then. There's not even that many picks in the draft probably. I don't know why I even thought. In my head, I'm like 252. That feels right. That feels right. I don't even think there's that many picks in the NFL draft.
No, that might be Mr. Relevant. It's like maybe
you might be right.
252 or something like that.
Right. That could actually make sense. Right. If you go 32 times 7, what is that? You go 32 times 7 is 224, but then there's also like concession picks.
Yeah,
so it could get up to 252. There's like Rooney Rule picks and all this stuff, like extra picks that they award. So maybe like that was like what Brock Purdy was or something.
I was like
Purdy thinking about doing the
after
math.
224.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know though. I in my head I was like, that draft pick seems important to me for some reason, but I could have tried to do the math in my head, but I'm like, I don't really know. I was like, I know he was late. He's like 5 or 6, something like that.
Plus, there might have been a different amount of teams back then too.
Yeah, right. It's a good point. I don't think the Texans existed yet. Actually, I don't think the Ravens did either. Ravens, I don't think it did either when Brady got drafted. Brady got drafted in like 98, 99? 2000?
No, so they had to have because they won a Super Bowl 2 years
later. Right. So it was like right after I think the Ravens existed. The Ravens, I mean, they're not super old. They're like less than 30 years old, I think.
You mean the Browns?
The Ravens as we know them. Yeah.
Hit me with that question.
Not a super old team.
I'm about to win it.
All right. All right, I'll give you one. This one's not too hard. This one I think is like decent. It's a fun one. Jerry Sloan holds what major coaching record? This is an interesting one. Jerry Sloan holds this record. It's a coaching record. Jerry Sloan holds.
Most ejections.
All right, give me a second. I have to look this up. That's not what I have written down, but I'm going to give it to you if you're right. And okay, here's what I'll tell you. This is what I have written down. Most consecutive games coached for one team.
Oh, wow.
That is the record he has.
My next guess was something about with one team. Because the only thing I could think of was for records that he would even have would be something wild.
Yeah, most consecutive games coached for one team.
I don't think it's ejections. I don't think he has that, but maybe.
But let's see though. But if you have the most consecutive coach games for one team, just by volume, which NBA coach has the most ejections?
You see,
NBA coach has most ejections all time.
Probably Phil Jackson, honestly. Although he couldn't walk for like.
Okay, the belief is. Hold on. Okay, here's the thing with Jerry Sloan. Jerry Sloan's on this list, but he was coaching before technical fouls were tracked. So it is not known how many he actually was ejected from. But the one that has the most that is believed They say it's either Greg Popovich or Don Nelson is the belief.
Okay.
It's either one of those, but on this list, Jerry Sloan is on there. He's on there, but it said it's not really known. But it's saying Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich is the longest currently tenured coach, but he didn't have the consistency. Greg Popovich has sat out for a lot of games, especially, when his wife died, he took some time off, but Sloan just went for like 22 straight years with the Jazz. So I will say that this can't end in a tie.
We got a few more questions.
Right, this can't end in a tie.
I promise you're going to get one of these right, unless you really don't. Unless you really, really just like...
I might not know ball. Who knows? I thought there was 250 picks in the NFL draft, so who knows? Just threw that number out there. I go with my gut a lot, and sometimes it makes me say that Reggie White was drafted in the 2000s. Yeah, you never know.
That's true.
I might just say some shit. I just say what's with my gut. I trust it. So I'll say that there's 260 picks in the draft, and I'll say that Reggie White was drafted in the 2000s. But then other times I'll just be like, what was the one? The Peyton Manning. Oh, Peyton Manning has the most all-time Thanksgiving touchdowns or something. I pulled that out of my ass or something. Or not all time, but most single game.
Yeah.
Touchdowns. So you go with your gut. Sometimes it makes you look like a genius, and sometimes you say something real dumb. That's what you do. So anyway, all right. I'll give you 1 point that's floating in the air. All right. If it comes down to it, we need a tiebreaker. You can have the 1 point for Jerry Sloan. Might have been the coach with the most ejections.
Next question. Who
ready?
Is the only player in NFL history to rush for 250 plus yards in multiple games?
In one season or ever?
Ever.
Really? There's only one guy who's ever done that?
Twice, yeah. We gotta think AP broke the record with 296 in 08.
Right. Only one guy's ever done it twice. That's crazy. Wow. You know what I'm thinking of right now is like the Madden record board when you're like playing franchise and you can see the records. I'm like, who's on there twice? There's got to be someone on there twice with 250 ones. It's got to be. So it didn't have to be in the same season. So we're talking like longevity. Someone who did it, they could have had it. Man, but it was like a volume runner. Someone that was just giving the ball a lot. It could be Adrian Peterson. I feel like it's not. Don't think it's Derrick Henry. I feel like I can't remember Derrick Henry ever having 250 in a game. You want to say Barry Sanders maybe, but I feel like he didn't play. Could be Barry Sanders, but man, I'll go Eric Dickerson. That sounds fun. Let's go Eric Dickerson. That's my answer.
Okay. The answer is O.J. Simpson.
Man, O.J. You know, that makes sense.
Derrick Henry and Saquon have each done it once.
They're going over 250? Both of them. Wow, okay. Yeah. O.J. That makes sense, actually, because it's like, how did you rush for 2,000 yards in a 12-game season? Oh, by going over 250 twice. That's how you do it.
He did it on.
That makes sense.
He did it on 58 carries across those two games combined for 9 yards a carry and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, that makes sense. Honestly, like I could have gotten there if I didn't want to take too much time. That does make sense though, to be like he's the only guy that hit 2,000 in the 12-game season. So I'll or a 14 game or whatever in the shorter season. He did it in. Was it 12 or 14 that OJ did 2,000? It was 14. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Don't care. Old school shit. Shout out OJ. He didn't do that. He's innocent.
Hit me with that question.
OJ's innocent.
That's great. The glove don't fit.
All right. I've got an easy, medium, and hard question. What do you want?
Take your pick. Dealer's choice.
All right, I'll go medium, right? Ready? Let's go. What is the longest consecutive string of playoff appearances for the Jazz?
That's wild.
So they put it's a long string.
I know
they
it
put
is.
together a crazy streak. Do you know what it is?
I know so they won the title. I know they didn't miss the playoffs any year after that, and they didn't miss the playoffs again until like 2012, when they got rid of Jerry and Darren. It's like
it's a pretty impressive streak.
So if you go from 98, they made the finals.
So they won the title?
No.
Yeah, you said
they lost.
Okay, I was gonna say you were like they won the title. I'm like,
my bad.
Whoa.
Oops.
I didn't know about that.
I was getting ahead of myself.
Oops.
I think that's what actually happened, but there's a whole conspiracy theory on that. We're not gonna get into it.
Of course.
But
they couldn't tarnish Jordan's legacy.
They couldn't. They had to do it for Jordan. What is it? 2020? No, 2012. 12 years, 14. But they probably realistically made it. I want to say it had to be like 22 to 24 years, somewhere in that range. I'm thinking.
You know, and I'll give you a 2-year plus minus, just to be nice. Because I'm gonna say 2-year plus minus. So if you said like 15, I would count it 17 or 13 if it's within 2 up or down.
22 years.
22 is what we want to go with. The 2-year plus minus saved you, my friend. 20 years. 20 straight years.
92, was it 92 to 2012?
It was something like that. Yeah, I didn't write it down, but I believe it was right around that. Yes. It like goes into the 2010s.
Let's go, baby. Look at that.
Yes.
24,
Great.
17. If you want to give me that extra point, I'll take it anyway. 25,
I'll give you
17.
that extra one. You deserve it for the Jerry Sloan, because it's not agreed upon, but there are 3 people in the running for it, and Jerry Sloan's one of them. So I'll let you have it.
Next time, I'm getting that 3-peat.
Yeah, of course. For the Knicks versus NFL trivia, I have to go pick the most insane NFL trivia I can find. I can't lose on a Knicks trivia one. Okay, here's the one that I said was easy. Just don't think about it for too long. But which late night talk show host put on blackface to play Karl Malone? Do you know this one?
Colbert.
What?
Colbert.
Is it Colbert?
Wait, no. Jimmy Fallon.
This is a late night talk show host who put like a current today has a late night talk show.
Jimmy Fallon.
But at close, he did put on blackface, but that was to play Chris Rock. This is Jimmy Kimmel who put on blackface to play Karl Malone.
Dang.
I wanted to throw that one out, but that was close. And then the other one was, this is the hardest one on here because I've never heard of this guy. You tell me if you've heard of this guy. The first Jazz Rookie of the Year winner. I've never heard of him. Do you know who this? Do you know the answer to this?
First Jazz Rookie of the Year winner.
Yep.
What decade was it in?
I don't have it written down. Let me tell you. Hold
Is
on.
he modern?
I don't
not.
believe so. No. His rookie season was 1980 was his rookie season.
Oh.
Yep.
I don't know why Mark Eaton keeps coming to my head.
It's not Mark Eaton, because I knew Mark
It's not
Eaton.
Mark Eaton, yeah.
No, Mark Eaton. Mark Eaton's, I believe, is a Hall of Famer. If he isn't, he's damn close.
I don't know. Who is it?
Daryl Griffith. You ever heard of this guy?
Name sounds kind of familiar, but not 100%.
I've never heard. Yes.
Okay.
Black man.
What number?
Daryl Griffith. He wore number 35.
That wasn't the number that was in my head. Okay.
Yeah, I've never heard of the guy.
Yeah,
I guess he's pretty pedestrian.
I was going to ask you what NFL team was the second most regular season wins.
The Bears.
Yeah, I know. It shocked me when I saw it. So when I thought you wouldn't get it, and then you said they were flipping back and forth, I thought you definitely wouldn't get it because it's 798, so they're like 12 games back right now.
Right. I think very recently they passed the Bears. It was like 2 years ago, maybe. Because the Bears, I think, off of like the Mitch Trubisky season, like pulled ahead a bit when There was that one Mitch Trubisky season. You remember when the Bears were like in the playoffs, went like 12, had like a 12-5 season or 12-4 season or something like that? Like a actually kind of impressive season. Maybe they went 13-3. They had a good season.
And they had a doink.
Yeah. And then the doink. Double doink. I think that was the double doink. Actually,
got
right?
everybody fired.
Yep. So, all right. Good game. Good game.
I'll take that crown. But next, Johnny, we got to talk about it. This weekend,
let's talk about it.
We had the biggest football game of the year, the Super Bowl, featuring a rematch of the Super Bowl from 2 years prior, a chance for the Chiefs to three-peat, and a chance for the Eagles to get their revenge en route to a second all-time title. Now, in that game, the Eagles dominated the Chiefs, 40-22 for their second title all time. Jalen Hurts was 17-22, 221 yards, 2 TDs, 1 pick, and a rushing TD en route to getting the Super Bowl MVP. Saquon was kept in check most of the day, 25 carries, 57 yards, no touchdowns. AJ and Devontae each catching a touchdown. Mahomes, 21-32, 257 yards, 3 TDs, 2 picks, and a fumble. Sacked 6 times. Patrick Mahomes also led the Chiefs in rushing with both 4 carries and 25 yards. Xavier Worthy, 8 catches, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kels, only 4 catches on 6 targets, 39 yards, no TDs. And for team stats, Eagles had 21 first downs compared to the Chiefs' 12. 36 minutes, 58 seconds time of possession to the Chiefs' 23 minutes and 2 seconds. And then the Eagles won the turnover battle 3-1. But I'll let you dig in first, Johnny. What are your thoughts?
Look, going into this, I would like for somebody to look through the footage of all of our other podcast episodes, and every time that we talked about the Eagles in the playoffs, listen to the first thing that I say every time that we talk about the Eagles. I say the same thing every time. What I don't bring up first is Saquon. I don't bring up the receivers. I don't bring up their O-line. Every single time I go, that pass rush is evil. It's oppressive. It's disgusting. And I was watching it all year. When I first noticed it was when they played the Steelers. And I was like, oh, this is the first time all season that Russ has looked like he doesn't have time to do literally anything. Like the Steelers have like a slightly below average O-line. It wasn't as bad as it's been in the past, but it wasn't great. But it was manageable all season, and Russ, who's sort of mobile, it was fine. When we played the Eagles, there was never a point I thought we had a chance because Russ never had a second. And so I started paying attention in all of those Eagles games moving forward, and I saw it in every single quarterback they went up against, whether it was whoever happened to be starting for the Giants that week, whether it was Jaden Daniels, whether it was Matt Stafford, it didn't matter. Every time that the Eagles squared up against someone, that pass rush made them uncomfortable and made it so that they could not actually get into their progressions, get into their reads, make good decisions. The first thing that they were doing was fight or flight. And I thought if there's any guy that can handle that can work against that, and any line that can stand up to that, it's the Chiefs that have 2 All-Pros on their line, and Pat Mahomes, who is great under pressure and scrambles really well and throws on the run maybe better than anyone in the league. And that just wasn't the case. Off of 0 blitzes, just rushing 4 all game, the Chiefs O-line could not withstand it, and that was it. That was that whole game. I mean, it was like Mahomes does not make that throw to Cooper DeJean without that pass rush in his face. He does not make that terrible pick to Cooper DeJean. And like the Zach Bond pick, that was just a great interception by Zach Bond. Shout out to him. That was that insanely athletic, great vision play. He just went up and got it. But Mahomes getting sacked over and over again. I mean, what was it, 6 sacks on Mahomes total?
6 sacks.
A fumble on a play that arguably could have been called, but who cares? At that point, it literally didn't matter. The refs were just letting him pour it on at that point, and I don't blame them. There was no point. There was no point in extending that suffering any longer. That was just an utter domination. The Eagles played well in all of their units, but trust me when I say that was won by one unit. It was the Eagles pass rush that won that game. Like, I texted Coogee, I think in the second quarter, and I said, this is looking real Buccaneers-y. This is looking like the Buccaneers game where they just rushed Mahomes. But the difference was in the Buccaneers game, they blitzed Mahomes over and over and over. And he couldn't withstand the blitz. This was just four dudes. Yeah. This is just four dudes doing their job really well. And yeah, it was just amazing. I think this doesn't, to me, I guess like you can tell me what you think on this. To me, this wasn't a damning indictment on anybody on the Chiefs. As far as like, what did you expect? It definitely isn't on the defense. I'll say that at least. I think the Chiefs defense played amazing. Like for the given the circumstances where like 17 of those points came off terrible turnovers. One of them was directly off a turnover with the pick six. I think the defense did exactly what it's supposed to do, which is bottle up Saquon. They were willing to let it be a shootout between Hurts and Mahomes, but the Eagles defense wouldn't allow that. Right. They just went, and it's like, was there a really bad drop by DeAndre? Yes. Did Kelsey? Yeah, Kelsey had a bad drop. He was having trouble getting open. And there were guys making mistakes, like the running backs couldn't really get loose at all. But it never felt like it was, to me, it never felt like it was like a like that was the main problem. The main problem was they could not actually run a play at all. Like they, at no point did it feel like they could fully let a play develop until it was garbage time and they were already dumping Gatorade on Sirianni. Like, now, mind you, though. Oh yeah, say what you think about that, because I only have really one more take.
It's not an indictment on anybody on the Chiefs, but I think the better team on paper won, right? Aside from the quarterback position, the Eagles are the better team across the board. So no, it's not an indictment, but you also have the situation where Joe Tooney's playing left tackle when he's naturally a guard. He's all-pro guard. He made all-pro as a tackle too, but obviously playing out of your natural position, that's going to happen. I don't know how I feel about Pacheco. I mean, I think they do need to get an actual, like a Kareem Hunt in his rookie year type back. But they didn't even try to run the ball. They really didn't try to run the ball. They had like 9 carries between their two backs combined. Mahomes
Pacheco did fully break his leg this season. So I just go, yeah. So I'm like, we'll let him get a full offseason to recover before we make any judgment calls on Pacheco going forward. But he did fully break his leg this season. So I'll give him a pass. But yeah, he doesn't look the same since he came back.
No. I mean, he still runs the same. It's still, that little. But
he runs like a toddler. Very similar to Kyler Murray. He is the running back version of Kyler Murray.
But no, I don't think it's an indictment. Like you said, it's real Buccaneers-y. That was actually, if I were to just block out the colors on the screen, pretend it was the Bucs uniforms and Tom Brady was on the other side, I would have thought it was the same Super Bowl. He was running around for his life. He was unsettled. He was worried, right? You can't even set up or wait for a play to set up when it's not even just about the pressure being there, because after a while, the pressure, when it gets to you and gets to you and gets to you, right, they call it seeing ghosts. You start to feel that pressure when it's not there. You start to feel it before it gets there, and now you make bad decisions. Before you're even pressured, and sometimes you force yourself into pressure. But they really didn't. It sounds crazy to say, but I feel like they really didn't have the ball for that much of the first half. I mean, they really they didn't even have the ball.
It was 3 and out, or interception or
and that
turnover.
game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Johnny. That game was so boring. Listen, I'm telling you right now, that game was so boring. I fell asleep. You know me,
Oh, for
Johnny.
real?
You know me. I fell asleep.
Yeah, I know. I don't doubt it even a little bit.
I fell asleep after the first half ended before the halftime show.
Wow, you didn't watch the halftime show?
No, I've seen the whole game 3 times since then. I recorded it, so I've seen the whole game. I've seen the halftime show 3 times since then. But in the moment though, and I was hyped for the show, but it was so boring. I literally was on my couch. I passed out. Woke up at like 2 in the morning.
That's so funny.
No, because it was just, dude, it was crazy. Like, honestly, you could have turned that game on in the fourth quarter, and it would have been the same thing.
When I went, I did think, like, you know, when they were down 17-0, I was like, this isn't too bad. They can come back from this. They can score here. They get the ball back at half.
That Zach Bond
score
pick,
again,
bro, is what did
then they're
it.
14. Then it's 14-17. It's a real game. Then the Zach Bond pick happens,
Bro.
and they're down 24-0. And you go, all right, well, they did come back from 24-0 against
Texans.
Deshaun Watson way back, and you know Brady came back from down 25 in the third quarter. So this isn't completely out of hand. Like, this is possible. They start with the ball, and then they start with the ball in the second half and go 3 and out.
3 and out. 3 and out.
And you're just like, all right, it's over. Like, honestly, when they came out and they went 3 and out on the first drive I was like, man, Reed's going to make some adjustments. He's going to get a perfect script together for that first drive. And they came out and 3 and out instantly. I went, all right, it's over. Eagles won. Go Birds. I was like, I don't know. Fortunately, I don't hate the Eagles. There are teams I would have been actually upset if they won, but like, I have no beef with the Eagles. I like Jalen Hurts as a
person.
As like the idea that like he doesn't talk and he doesn't smile really, and he just is like he's like a little bit of a crazy person in like a serial killer kind of way, where he's just like he takes himself so seriously. And I'm like, I kind of like that about him. I'm like, that guy doesn't exist in the NFL as a quarterback. Like, that quarterback doesn't exist. I'm glad like that he exists as a guy in the NFL. And my only thing now is I go, look, man, I love Jaden, and I think he's going to do some great things, and I think he's super talented. He's going to take the league by storm. But I think out of respect, Jalen Hurts has that number 5 spot.
Oh, boy.
I think it out of respect, I go, look, man, in the last 3 years, you've made the playoffs every single time. You made the Super Bowl twice, and you won it once. You've never not been a winning quarterback. You've only done what is expected of you. The only time you had a bad season, you still made the playoffs and you were injured, and you still, you know what I mean, made the playoffs. I'm just like, I think he just does what is necessary, and even though he's not flashy about it, and he doesn't put up the crazy numbers that Burrow does. He doesn't put the whole team on his back like Allen, and he doesn't look like he doesn't have the athleticism and freak abilities of Lamar. It's just like, you are steady, you're an actual leader, you don't fuck up, and you do what it takes to win no matter what. Very similar to like what Brady would do. Was like I'm not saying he's as good as Brady, but I'm saying that is what Jalen Hurts does, is he plays this Brady-esque game of like, if this game requires me to air it out, I'll do it. If this game requires me to throw the ball 12 times, I'll do it. And like, I don't care. I'm just here. I'm a steady force. I'm a dependable guy. If I have to have 3 men grab my ass and shove me forward 4 times this game, I will do that, because I will do what is expected of me, and I will do what the team needs me to do. And the results are inarguable. He wins. And I'm like,
I don't know if I can
I like
put him
Jaden,
ahead
but it's
of
too
anybody.
early.
Listen, I don't know if I can put him ahead of anybody. That if you swap places with him and somebody else, the same thing would happen.
I can't say that though. There's nobody. Are you saying like if you put someone else on the Eagles?
Like if you put Jaden on the Eagles, they don't like they still win the Super Bowl.
I think maybe like theoretically yes, but like I can't. Jaden, it's hard just because it's 1 year. Like you would think yes, theoretically yes. Like I want to say yes, but I'm like anyone else in the league, I don't feel that way about.
But it's
like I'm like if you put Stroud, Herbert, Love, Goff. Like, I think any of these guys wouldn't win the Super Bowl on the Eagles.
Right. Well, what's the difference between those four and Jaden?
Killer instinct.
I think that's
killer instinct.
I think that's the difference between C.J. Stroud and Jaden, right? The whole conversation of C.J. Stroud potentially, right, last year we would have said he's top 5. This year we're like, whoa. But it's just different historically. I don't think those running quarterbacks regress after they get good early on. Now, once they have to stop running... and Jaden's not even a running quarterback per se. He's a pocket passer that can run, like Lamar.
Yeah, I mean, I think CJ's team took a step back for 2 reasons. One was his line just started shitting everywhere, pooping and peeing all over the place, and not blocking for him. And the other was that his entire skill position unit got injured. It was literally Nico at some point in the season. Nico, Mixon, Stephon Diggs, and Tank Dell at some point in the season missed significant time.
Yeah.
Not all at the same time, but all of them at some point missed significant time.
In multiple of them at sometimes.
Yeah.
But and it's also crazy because apparently their offensive coordinator's ass. Bobby Slowick. You see they fired him? He was a head coaching candidate this year.
Coaching candidate, yeah, and then they fired him
How
this
do you
year.
go from a head coaching candidate to getting fired from your OC job? That don't make no sense.
You need to have a scapegoat, you know? And the defense got better. So it was like the defense got better and the offense got worse. D'Amico runs the defense. Bobby, you run the offense. It got worse. You're out of here.
We need to fire the fucking trainer.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Fire the athletic trainer, the injury guy. But anyway, shout out to the white Jackie Robinson. Shout out to the white Jackie Robinson. Cooper
For the past
DeJean.
24 to 48 hours, I've literally been walking around going, this might get us copyright claimed, but whatever. Going, Cooper DeJean is not a safety. He's just the corner who will lock down your number one. Cooper DeJean is CB1. I've been having that one stuck in my head.
No, literally.
Yeah.
The white Jackie Robinson. He's changing the game for white people everywhere. If you're white, listen to me. If you're white and you have dreams to play cornerback, go for it. It's possible. It's possible.
Do you know the last white corner to have a pick six was against Andy Reid in the playoffs? It was a Giants player against Andy Reid in the playoffs. It's very funny to me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It was his birthday too. Shout out.
Yeah. So Andy Reid has had the last 2 white corners to house a pick six. He has had to see it twice. This is very funny.
Crazy. On Black History Month too. God damn.
On Black History Month. Yeah, I think that and we'll get to the Chiefs defense a little more in our next segment, but I do think the Chiefs defense played like as good as they could have. I don't think like the Eagles offense, if you take away like the points they got immediately off turnovers, like that the Chiefs defense, like they did pretty much what they had to do as far as bottle up Saquon and like Jalen obviously like still worked and got his work in. He got his stats. So, you know, he had, I mean, that monstrous, maybe the biggest backbreaker of the entire game where it really felt like this is over. You have no chance. We're up 5 touchdowns now when he hit that bomb to Devontae Smith.
The first Alabama player to ever score a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Really? That's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, that was the real backbreaker. I mean, for me, the moment I knew it was over was when the Chiefs came out of the half and went 3 and out. I was like, it's done. But if you wanted to have hope, if you wanted to be a guy that had hope, the moment you weren't allowed to have hope anymore was when they went up 34-0 off of that play. That was heinous. That was evil.
Evil. Evil. Now, the real reason the Chiefs lost is because the Chiefs had more Michigan players than the Eagles, and the Eagles had more Ohio State players than the Chiefs.
Yeah, there's only two good Michigan players ever. We all know this. One of them is the GOAT, Tom Brady, and the other one is the second GOAT, Nico Collins. That's it. They're the only two good Michigan players ever.
The Eagles had one Michigan player. Chiefs had two. Paris Campbell, Ohio State receiver, formerly of the Colts. He was on the Eagles. That's the real reason
Paris
they won.
Campbell's on the Eagles? That's crazy.
That's the real reason they won right there. It's that Ohio State connection.
Funny.
They had to get the chip for the boys. Had to get the chip for the boys. But Xavier Worthy, though.
He made me excited about having him on my dynasty league in fantasy.
Is he the number
that
one?
That guy, how he's played in the playoffs. Unless they trade for someone.
Rashid's coming
definitely.
back.
Well, Rashid might miss a good number of games.
Really?
Yeah, I mean he's facing like a felony reckless driving.
Oh, so it's not just injury.
Yeah. They said that they weren't going to hand out a suspension until the court had finished its process. But yeah, he'll probably miss like 4-ish games to start the season.
Knowing the court system, that shit, he might not get suspended for that for another 3-4 years.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, so this season he was in the clear, but next season it's like you're coming back off of a torn PCL, I think he tore.
I think he tore multiple. I think he tore everything.
Yeah. I mean, like a brutal injury. You're coming off something that takes a minute to get back into it, and you might be facing a handful of game suspension when you come back. It's like I think the door's open for Worthy. The only question is, I mean, we're staring down the barrel of a very strong wide receiver free agency. Like, so I wouldn't be shocked if the Chiefs got a little bit aggressive and went, all right, we got to bring in a veteran level guy that's better than DeAndre Hopkins.
T. Higgins.
Right. I mean, I think T. Higgins is too expensive for the Chiefs,
Yeah.
but T. Higgins is going to be paid like a number one, which he deserves. But yeah, but I'm thinking maybe more of a Keenan Allen or I don't know where Aaron Rodgers ends up, but Devontae Adams is going to be out there. Maybe, heck, I don't want to get crazy, but I heard there's this guy on the Dolphins that might not be too happy on the Dolphins anymore. He might not be too happy. Maybe he wants to go compete for a championship.
And they say he wants to come home.
Maybe he wants to come home. So I'm just saying, I think, but it's Worthy's spot to lose unless they pick up a guy that's like way clear of him. If Rice was just like poofed in and he was 100% healthy, then maybe it would be more of a thing. But I think Rice has a like wind up period, regardless of whether or not he's suspended or anything. Right. But yeah, man, I mean, Worthy has turned into an actual full use across the board receiver, where at the beginning he was a lot more of a gadget player.
It's like Tyreek Hill development.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I mean, the biggest thing to me that I saw in his development was early in the season, if you threw to him, he needed a 5-yard gap on the defender, or whoever was covering him. And I mean, in that Bills game, he went up for that contested catch and came down with it. It's he would not have done that early in the season. Look, man, Ty goes to the receiver. I don't know what you want me to tell you. There were so many people that were like, that doesn't count as a catch. And they weren't even telling you what was actually controversial about it. Like, the controversial aspect of it was that it touched the ground. But they were like, oh, but that was in the other guy's hands too, though. And it's like, that's not what was controversial about that catch. The controversial part was that it touched the ground, and the question was the ball moving when it touched the ground, or was it secured?
Right.
And it's like, and it was secured. It was just between two separate players' hands. It was in two different players' hands, but it was secured. But I don't want to get into the Bills.
Keep on going.
Yeah, I think the future looks bright for Worthy, though. I do think so. He showed that now he can catch those contested catches, and he's a lot more comfortable running a multitude of routes, not just these deep flyers down the field or drags across the middle. He's doing a lot more. So I think it's really cool, and I'm excited as a Xavier Worthy Dynasty fantasy manager. I'm very excited for how that's going to turn out next season.
Yeah, I mean, long story short with the game, Eagles handled business, right? You control time and possession, you win turnover battle, you're going to win the game. Actually, every team that won turnover battle this year was undefeated in the playoffs.
That checks out. That makes sense.
Checks out.
That's how it should be.
Let's get to this halftime show, though, Johnny. Unless you got something else you want to add.
Before we do, I have one other thing I want to ask. One other thing, just let's have the question right now. This is the one that everyone is talking. Mahomes' legacy. Where does this put him as far as the GOAT? As far as relation to the GOAT conversation? I'll tell you where mine is. I have a definitive answer.
So I don't think he needs. I think this one would have put him there. Three-peat. Right?
I think this one would have put him in. There is a legitimate argument. Like, I think it still would have been you had to be respectful and still give it to Brady, I think, right now. But if he had won it, the argument would be eye test, he's better. Stats, he's better. He won more faster. In 7 seasons, he never made it less than the AFC Championship, and he won four Super Bowls, and also did something that no one else had ever done, which is win 3 in a row. So there was a legitimate argument, but I think you could still make the argument that, like, yes, but Brady's long-term achievements, he holds every career record, he holds the most number of Super Bowls, most number of appearances. You still have to put in the time and prove that you can do it over a long period before you get to be unanimously considered the GOAT. But, like, I think if he had gotten that three-peat, that he could have retired with 5, and most people would probably consider him the GOAT. It just Brady loyalists wouldn't. Now, because he didn't win, he needs to get 7.
Wow.
That's how I feel now. I'm like, for it to be, I'm not saying for me, because I still think he's the best ever, but for it to be the majority of NFL fans consider you the GOAT. If that's going to happen, you need 7. Because now you have on your resume the worst loss out of you and Brady. Like, Brady was never embarrassed. You got embarrassed. Like, period, end of story. There's no debate. Brady's beaten you twice in the playoffs, and you've never beaten him in the playoffs. And you don't have the three-peat. You don't have this thing over him, and realistically, now you'll never get it. So now it's just all you really have on Brady right now is you have the AFC Championship thing. I have, in 7 years of starting, I have never gone less than the AFC Championship. Like, that's the worst season I've had was losing in the second to last game of the season. So he's got that, and he's got the eye test that, like, you just look more talented than Brady does. But other than that, you don't have anything on him anymore. Like, so now I'm like, to convince a Brady loyalist or the average NFL fan, old head NFL fan, that he is the GOAT, I think he needs 7. At the very least, he needs 6. And he's sitting at 3. So you got some work to do, boss man.
Okay. See, I don't know. I would have honestly given him the GOAT if he won this one. But you make a fair point, though.
I think I would have too. As a LeBron fan, I think I would have as well. But
I personally, though, I don't think this loss impacts how I feel if he wins one next year, though. I mean, I don't think this loss is on him. I mean, if Brady was in the same situation, right? Like,
he played worse in this game than he did in the Bucks one, though. Like,
this defense is way better than that Bucks defense.
It was better, but he played worse. Like, he played poorly in this game. Like, period, there's no argument. Like, he actually played bad. The Bucks one, it was like he played as good as he possibly could have, and it wasn't enough. And in this one, it was like, no, he played like shit. He should have played better than that.
I feel you. But if you go 1 for 2 on games where you, based off what's around you, you should play like shit, and you play good in one and you play shit in another, I don't know. I mean, like, do you expect...
It's not...
We think he should play good because he's Mahomes, but I don't think any quarterback should play good with what he had to deal with the other night.
If he got the 3-peat, I think I would have started saying GOAT. I would have started being like, I think he's GOATy. I think that's it. I think because especially it would have been like, as the amount of respect I have for this Eagles team, it would be like, you got the 3-peat and your third one was against a team that to me is as good as the Legion of Boom. Like, it's a Legion of Boom level team.
Right.
And like Brady gained a lot of respect for beating that team after they had torched Peyton. So it's like,
but I don't think I mean, Mahomes has a lot of years left. I mean, he's not even halfway through what Brady played.
Right, and Brady, I saw somebody said the GOAT debate is officially over, and someone else goes
because Brady beat him in the
started
playoffs.
His career 3-2. Like, his Super Bowl record was 3-2 to start. He won 3 and lost 2, and the 2 he lost in a row were to objectively worse teams. Like Mahomes lost to a team that on paper is way better than his. Brady walked into a Super Bowl with maybe the best roster ever assembled and lost to Eli Manning. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of...
Right.
So...
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, so anyway, for me, though, I think it's like... I think for me, I will start... I can't say it yet. I love Mahomes. I think he's the best player I've ever seen, but I can't say GOAT, I think, until we're at 5. No. I think you need 5.
That's fair.
Like...
Especially if they're back-to-back. Yeah. Back-to-back
twice. Yeah, you get 5. Right, you go back-to-back twice, I'm in. You've got me. GOAT. But... Because for me, it will also be... Especially if he does it quick. Like, if in the next 3 years he wins 2, I'll be like, okay. Because then it'll be like, you came out quick and did it. You immediately did it. Brady, like, had a 10-year gap between winning Super Bowls. And you have the eye test thing for me, which is just like, you look better at the position than Brady.
Right.
Like, you look better at it. So, and I love Brady. I got no beef
underrate the eye test. They underrate the eye test. They try to find everything their eyes are already showing them when they just look at the eye test. Yeah, no, he clearly, I mean, it's just better on paper. As far as what he does on the field, just everything, how he throws the ball. Yeah, he's Mahomes, bro. He's going to be the GOAT one day. But anyway, let's get to that halftime show.
All right, sorry for derailing.
Let's get to that halftime show.
Hell yeah.
But what are your thoughts on this this very controversially received halftime show, Johnny?
I think I've seen 2 takes on it. It's either people going, that was amazing. That was, what a statement. What a moment for hip hop. What a moment for the Super Bowl. I mean, that might be one of the best Super Bowl performances ever. And then the other statements I've seen is, I don't understand what he's saying. Does anyone think? Am I crazy, or does anyone think that this rap isn't actually music? Like, am I? I don't know if I'm just old, but I don't think this is actual music. I think this is just jibber jabber. Like, I don't know. I'm like, yeah. There's a bunch of people that don't get it, but I thought it was sick. I enjoyed it a lot. Thought it was really fun, funny. Thought it had a cool level of symbolism, but it was also, it never like took itself too seriously, which I've seen a lot of people be like, this is one of the most symbolic moments. And I'm like, man, his performance at the Grammys way back where he walked out in a chain gang, like that was a more politically charged, symbolic, important political message show than this was. Like, this was just like, the flag divided, red and blue. This is common Kendrick Lamar shit. This is like the playbook since 2015 for him. He's just playing the hits, man. But it was fun. I liked Serena was fun. I liked, the teasing, Not Like Us. All exciting, enjoyable show. And we'll get to the other thing about it when we get to it. There's the other thing that I read in the rundown. I will get to that because I have a couple of thoughts on that as well.
Okay. Yeah, no, I thought it was a good show. I want to start off with what demographics you think those two sides were in.
I don't think I have to say. I think it's pretty obvious.
I think we know.
Yeah, I think for the most part, yeah. I think it's pretty obvious. That's all I'm saying, what the demographics were.
Man, we should have got a rock artist for this Super Bowl.
Morgan Wallen. I saw a lot of people go like, Morgan Wallen, should have been him. Should have been Morgan Wallen. I think that would have been a better show. People know his songs. I don't know none of these. I don't know these Kendrick Lamar songs. Never heard of them, actually. Like, I don't know, man. Like, at a certain point, maybe just having old dudes struggle to perform songs that they're not capable of singing anymore isn't the best option. And, there's been 2 rap performances ever in the Super Bowl. There's only been 2 rap performances in Super Bowl history. It's just been, aside from like side acts, but it's really just been that the big Dr. Dre show with all the different folks, and then there was this one. And I go, maybe let the biggest genre in the world have its moment on the biggest stage in the world. Is that so crazy? And I'm sorry if these fogies that don't like it can't understand what he's saying and don't like the political messaging. And I'm sorry, but it's the biggest genre on the planet. That man is the biggest artist of the year, whether you like it or not, and he deserved to have that spot, I think. And you're a hater if you think otherwise. What do you want me to say, man?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to feel any type of way if Taylor Swift gets a Super Bowl, because I'm like, she's huge. Like, what do I care? She deserves it. Someday Taylor Swift will get the Super Bowl, and I won't. You won't catch me complaining. So, yeah, I'm like, I think if you're tapped into music at all, Kendrick Lamar was the artist of the year. It is not a question about it. So, he deserved it. Say Drake.
Say Drake? Nah, bro. That was, it's funny too, because I love how, I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but I just love when people that want to, talk about our constitutional amendments of free speech and all that. They want to complain when anything sports related gets somewhat even kind of politically involved. Like, it's this huge thing. I saw a post when the Vrabel got hired by the Patriots. It was this Patriots fan page, and they shared the interview from the coach they had last year when he got hired, and him basically talking about empowering black people and stuff like that through what he's doing. And then Vrabel, and they literally said, look at that, already off to a better start. No political comments in the interview. And I was just like, bro, that's got nothing to do with whether or not the dude can coach. I'm like, but it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's really, that's
no,
really,
I mean, political is just a like dog whistle for black people. Like, let's be real here, bro. Sports are so inherently political, especially the NFL. How does every NFL game start? National anthem, giant flag in the middle of it, military flyover. Like, it is inherently political. It is so inseparable from politics. The fucking Republican, super controversial president of the United States is up there in the box watching the game. Like, you want to talk about it's not political? It's the first time a president's ever gone to the Super Bowl. So I don't want to hear it. Like, right. Sports are political.
And while we're on the national anthem topic, John Baptiste, he did the national anthem. But I saw something that I had to double check when I first saw it. They did like a song, like it sounded like the national anthem, but it was like this group of people that were singing before the national anthem.
How about the black national anthem?
Yes. That white girl, that white blonde girl. Yeah. Lauren Daigle.
No, you're talking about. Oh no, you're talking about sorry, you're talking about the America the Beautiful.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because they also do the Black national anthem as well.
Okay.
Which is the other thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no, it was the other.
I can't remember what that one's called.
Because now there's probably she probably wasn't singing the Black national anthem. It probably would have been a black.
No. You're talking about you're talking about America the Beautiful.
Yes.
Which I think should be the national anthem. Hot take. I think that America the Beautiful should be the national anthem.
It's a beautiful song.
I think it's a better song than Star Spangled Banner. Like, I think it's better. I think it feels more uplifting. It feels more like camaraderie between citizens. I like that song better.
No, I feel that. But it was cool though. I discovered Lauren Daigle. Not discovered. I'm not her A&R, but I found her as a fan a couple years ago. Was just bumping. And I look up from, I was doing some work at the time while I was watching. I look up and I see her singing. I'm like, wait a minute. So I thought that was really cool. Shout out to Lauren Daigle. Had to give a shout out there. But she's friends with John Baptiste. They're both from New Orleans. So
yeah, I didn't watch the national anthems. Funny enough, I didn't watch them.
Oh man,
not a patriotic guy.
You didn't stand for him?
No.
At your home?
No, I was actually probably driving because I went to someone's house. I went to two different parties.
Ooh.
So I went to the first one. I got there like right before literal kickoff. Like, I think I got there as they were doing the coin flip, and then
man,
I didn't see.
You gotta pull over the car, hop out, like
to take your hat off.
Oh God!
Yeah, you better be crying. You better be Nick Sirianni crying during the national anthem, or honestly, you're a traitor. We're gonna waterboard your ass.
But honestly, my biggest reaction from that whole thing is, damn, he really did the song. He did the song, Johnny.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he would. But he didn't just do it though, and he didn't even try to hide it. We talked about if he did it, he might, not do certain parts.
My thing was will he say the word pedophile? And he did not. He did not say pedophile. He stopped short of that.
But he did say, I hear you like him young, and that's like...
But he did say Drake. He did say Drake, and he did say, I hear you like him young. But I was like, I don't think he can say pedophile at the Super Bowl. I think I was saying this from the jump. He can't say pedophile at the Super Bowl.
He wore the A minor chain, too.
Yeah, well, of course he was going to do the A minor thing. He had to do that. I knew that because he knew that the best moment of the whole show would be the moment that the entire crowd says A minor.
A minor.
Like, yeah. He knew that would happen. He knew he had to put that in.
Then he got his ex-girlfriend to hop out there and dance to it. Serena.
Yeah, the funny thing to me is that, like, Drake, like, they go... oh, this is defamation. This is whatever. And I'm like, but he uses very deliberate wording in that song. Like, He says, "Hey Drake, I hear you like them young." That is not a statement of fact. That is a statement of, I've heard this. But it doesn't, you know what I mean? So for the purpose of defamation, that isn't like, it's the equivalent of saying like people are saying, or allegedly, or, you know, some sources say, but it's not, you're not presenting it as fact, so therefore it's not defamation. So it's very weird to me that people are trying to sue him over this.
Well, is it different
Because I'm
one-on-one
like,
though versus publicly? Because I guess like if I heard something from somebody and I just told you I heard it from somebody, it's one thing. But if I go tell 1,000 people that I heard it from somebody, I'm in theory making that fact.
but that's what Trump does. Like Trump, that's how he gets away with everything. Is that Trump literally will go out and say, people are saying, I have heard, you hear people say. Like that's what he does. That's how he gets away with saying outlandish shit about people and doesn't get sued, is because he knows, if I phrase it this way, I'm not presenting it as a fact. Technically, as far as the law is concerned, I'm not presenting this as a fact.
Right.
Even though my followers will hear it as a fact, that is not what I'm doing. And I think that it's pretty cut and dry as far as defamation precedent goes, is that if you say, I hear this, but you're not saying, you like them young. Aubrey Drake Graham likes them young. Aubrey Drake Graham is a pedophile. If you're not saying that, you know what I mean? So I don't know, but I'm not a lawyer. But that, right, to my understanding of how defamation works, I believe he's in the clear.
Okay. How do you feel about Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam?
That's fun. I don't have much more to say about it. It's like,
I'll tell you what,
he's
Uncle Sam as the only Uncle Sam I want to give my money to.
But he's playing the Uncle Sam that is doing a like kind of Bill Cosby, not the drugging version, but like the Bill Cosby like presentability politics, the respectability politics version, right, of like the older black figure. You know what I mean? Like that's the character he's playing in there. And he's going like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this stuff on the stage. Like, come on, we have to represent our people well. And we have to, you know. So I think like, you know, he's kind of drawing from his character in Django a little bit, not completely obviously, but just a little bit. Right. And then he's also drawing from the Spike Lee movie, I don't remember. There's a Spike Lee movie where he's,
I was gonna guess Roots, but it's probably not that.
No, it's not. No. No. I can't remember what it is. It's I don't remember. Where it doesn't matter. There's a Spike Lee movie where he dresses very similar and is playing a very similar concept, but and Spike Lee even acknowledged that. But I'm fully blanking on the title of the movie. But regardless, yeah, cool character, good job. I liked it. Do you think SZA was lip syncing? It was really good. And it's like, that was really good for how much you're moving, SZA. And I want to give you the benefit of the doubt, but that was really, really good.
I didn't even think to look into it until I didn't look into it because I didn't actually see that was even a question until earlier today.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice anything out of character. I mean, I didn't.
Yeah, people are like, well, she's not doing the same notes. And I'm like, yeah, but she could have recorded it. Like, that takes 30 minutes. Like, you know, record it, have a dude mix it down and throw it in, you know, a new copy of the track. But
I mean, the same notes she was doing in the actual song?
Right, she's doing a different.
Oh, well, that's very.
She's doing different.
Yeah, but
notes.
That's very common though. The performance version always sounds a little different than the actual recording version.
If you watch her how she's moving, it's like that would affect
your diaphragm.
You should be able to hear that in. Not saying you wouldn't hit the notes or it wouldn't sound good, but you should be able to hear that in your notes. And if you don't, it means one of two things. It's either SZA is such a good singer, and I never gave her credit for how good of a singer she is, that she has that much vocal control or she was lip syncing. It's one of the other.
I guess I'll pose this question: if she was lip syncing, does it actually matter?
No.
I don't think it matters. Like, even if she was, who gives a fuck? Like,
yeah, I don't care.
Are you at the Super Bowl lip syncing? No, not you, but like people in general. I mean, you aren't either. Neither am I. Shit, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. But like in general, though, like I don't know.
For a major television event, I have no problem with the idea of an artist lip syncing for a major television
event.
Bro,
you want to get it perfect, like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think the NFL, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like, nah, bro. If you have any questions about the ability to do what you got to do as far as movement and vocals, like, nah, do what you got to do. Get that shit done. Because at the end of the day, all that matters is the performance, right? It's the same thing with the song. It doesn't matter what you had to do to edit it after you recorded it, what you had to chop, what you had to cut out for extra sounds-wise. Doesn't matter what effects, what you put on it. The only thing that matters is the end result. Did it sound good? And do people like it? So, I mean, yeah, I don't really. I personally,
very Machiavellian approach.
I personally, I couldn't care. It's like the same thing with ghostwriting. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and like tell you how you're not a true rapper because somebody writes your stuff. I mean, would it be preferred you write your own stuff? Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be great. But like, I don't look at you differently.
Right. If it only comes up if you're comparing people, that's the only time it'll come up. Is like, if I'm comparing an artist to another artist and I go, well, Beyonce doesn't lip sync, so Beyonce ranks higher. Or if I'm going Drake to Kendrick, it's like, well, Kendrick writes almost all of his own lyrics, so therefore Kendrick.
Right. So I think I think in comparison it matters, but like just for the sake of itself, I don't know. I'm showing on it, but no, I didn't see it honestly enough to be able to tell you if I think she is or not. I didn't look that closely as far as that. Honestly, my eyes were kind of following the dancers and all that around. But yeah.
Do we want to save the other part of the show for instant replay, or do we want to just get it out the way now? The one other thing about the show.
We'll save it for instant replay. I'm gonna run down.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
I'm gonna run down some of these Super Bowl predictions real quick that we were either right or wrong on, and we'll get to the next segment real quick. But I was wrong on all three predictions. But with my three predictions, I was wrong on all of them. Tush push. I said Eagles wouldn't score single first down or score a touchdown or get a single first down on a tush push. They scored a touchdown on the very first tush push that they ran at the goal line. So that was wrong. Xavier Worthy. Now he almost gave me some retribution. I said he'd have 3 touchdowns combined, rushing and receiving. I was wrong. He did have 2. 2
would have been pretty bold in itself, honestly, because I don't think he's had 2 touchdowns all season. No, he had 2 in game 1, I think. I think in his debut game he had 2 touchdowns.
Combined rushing and passing, maybe. That was the caveat, too.
Yeah.
He had 2. He probably could have got 3 receiving, but yeah, and then I said Kendrick will not perform not like us, and as we all know, say Drake. He did.
Yeah, I knew he'd perform not like us. He had to perform not like us. The only question to me was, will he say pedophile? And he did not.
And Johnny, you were correct in the one Super Bowl prediction you had out of the 3 from the last one. You said Patrick Mahomes will overcome 4 sacks to still somehow win the Super Bowl. But if it's over 5 sacks, the Eagles will win. It was 6 sacks. The Eagles won. You were correct, Johnny.
Wow. Did I say that? That's crazy. I don't even remember. I remembered saying that he'd overcome 4. But wow, I said if it's over 5, they'll win. Wow. Look at me.
Look at you.
That's crazy. Look at me.
Saved us. The only correct one of the Super Bowl. At least we can
Let's
get something.
Go.
Because it's not looking good for our loud plays, quiet players in a bit there. But we're gonna slide over.
Yeah, my other dumb prediction we can add as well. We'll get to it later. But I also said that Kellen Moore would not be the coach of the Saints. I was wrong about that.
I was listening to it, and you said there's gonna be some new no-name hot shot or no-name under the radar coach to get hired. Then I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, Kellen Moore's still in play for this, I guess, because he's kind of no name, even though he's got a name. But then you specifically listed, like, I listened to it. You
Not
specifically said, not McCarthy, not Kellen Moore, and I said,
Kellen Moore.
no.
Yes.
If you didn't say
No,
Kellen
because
Moore,
I knew. Yeah, because that was my thought. I was like, what my thought was, if Kellen Moore gets to the mountaintop, he's gonna think, will I stay with the Eagles and run it back and possibly do this again? Or am I going to go to maybe the worst situation in the NFL, in the New Orleans Saints? Like, those are my options. I might just stick with the Eagles and see what opens up next year. Like,
Right.
That was kind of my thought. I didn't think it would be the Saints wouldn't hire him. I thought it would be he's not going to go to the Saints because the Saints is a pitiful job. I mean, I'd rather go to the Raiders.
Nah,
That's at least you get to be in. Yeah, at least you get Max Crosby.
he saved himself a flight home, and he can rack up them hotel points. While he looks for a place.
It was funny. I guess I didn't think about that he probably did just like take a cab over to to the Saints front office. I was like, all right.
I'm good to go. Yeah, even though Sirianni did tell him after the game, Sirianni did say, Kellen, let's run it back. But we all knew Kellen wasn't going to run it back. No, those jobs only come up so often. You only get so many chances, right? Look at Bobby Slowick. He could have got a job 2 years in a row, and now he's not on a team.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah, I just kind of thought, I kind of thought Kellen would just be like, that is such a terrible job. That team will not be good for 3 years.
See, it's tough, though, when you're an offensive coach, because I think when you're a D coordinator type of coach that becomes a head coach, you go, okay, we need a good base around us, right? Like, you need a good defense built, which takes multiple players. You need at multiple levels, right? You need good coaches around you in place, someone to call the offense. But I feel like when you're an offensive coach coming in, you almost feel like you can solve all the problems they've been having, especially when they've been on offense, right? If you're really like confident in your abilities, like, you probably feel like if I go to any team and schematically this team can get better with me if I am who I think I am. But I don't think they have no talent. They just got to get out of cat space hell and get some new players. But we'll see. Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, which will take 2 years. It's going to take them 2 full years to get out of cap hell.
Nah, they have to give him a leash. If they fire him after a year or two, it'd be ridiculous. They might as well. I think that if teams repeatedly fire coaches when they're already bad teams, they should just like not be allowed to have a coach. Like, I think if you're starting from the level of bad team, you should give a guy a longer leash. Like, it should be guaranteed. Like, you can't fire this coach for at least 2-3 years.
Unless A, they're so bad and it's immediately obvious, aka Urban Meyer, or B, they're another coach comes up that is Way better of an option.
Vrabel.
For example, Vrabel over Gerard Mayo. But also Mayo did not seem like he was doing a good job either. Like, there was no good aspect of Mayo where it's like, I wanted him to be good, but it was just like, where was the positive in what you did for that team? It didn't exist.
No, it was just the storyline of the former player.
Right. Like, you didn't actually contribute anything to that team legitimately. Like, at least like even Eberflus could be like, our run defense was pretty good. Like, yeah, you know what, Chicago, you did have a pretty good run defense. I'll give you that.
And Eberflus just got a job too as a D coordinator.
And he'll probably do good there. He's a solid D coordinator. But
no, he is. But man, we're gonna switch gears, Johnny. We have the final playoff edition of Coach of the Year. The results are in. We both were wrong this week. We both had the Chiefs. Although if I knew that they didn't have a Ohio State player and the Eagles did, I would have switched my pick. But with that, the final record for both of us, Johnny, I was 8-4 throughout the playoffs. You, unfortunately, were 5-7.
Womp womp.
So that means we have to kill you off. Have you ever seen that show Upload?
No.
Nah, you wouldn't get the reference done. Never mind. They upload their brains up into like this cloud, and they can put them into like this quote unquote real world heaven, where they're in bodies in heaven through their actual conscience. That's what we'll have to do. We'll get you on next season once we figure out technology for that. But I won.
Nice.
I won. I can't
The
say
playoffs, but who won the regular season though?
He's no longer here. I can't say.
No, I won.
No, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, you won. You won the regular season. All right. All right. But who won?
Because the other guy picked ties for every single game on the run out. It was really weird.
Yeah,
he picked ties for every game.
Never seen it in my life. But I can't say I'm surprised. But I can tell you, I'm equally happy as if I was surprised. I'll take the victory.
We should start calling him number 2, like Skip would call Kawhi number 2. He would call him Kawhi.
Street clothes.
Street clothes. That's not bad. Street clothes. Call him. Yeah, couchless. Honestly, damn. Couchless. No couch at all.
Couchless coach.
Yeah, no couch.
We should put him on the. The bottom tier. Allow players, quiet players. Should put a picture of him.
That's funny.
Watch.
Funny. Doo doo.
In memoriam. That's what it is, isn't it?
In memoriam. Missing. MIA.
And while we're on that topic, Johnny, it is time
Let's
for
do
the
it.
final one up until next football season. It's time for Loud Plays, Quiet Players, where we track players you may not hear from much that have been balling all season and into the postseason. And today, we finalize the 2024 NFL tiers.
All right, I made an adjustment. I put Mac Hollins in memoriam, and I replaced him with Fred Flintstone. So Mac Hollins is dead. Fred Flintstone lives, forever immortalized in the Jeremy Lin tier. All right, folks, I'm making the final call on 2 guys that I have added. We're gonna do this quick, short, and sweet. Neither of them are moving an inch. This is where they've ended their seasons. Okay, Noah Gray, Leo Chenal, both played exactly to the level that they're on this tier list. Okay, Noah Gray, 1 catch, 2 yards. Great job, buddy. Yeah, nothing crazy, but we're giving him credit still for the regular season performance where he went 2 games in a row being the Chiefs' leading receiver and 4 touchdowns across those 2 games. Great job, Noah Gray. And it looks like Kelsey's probably coming back, so enjoy another season as tight end 2. Leo Chenal, interior linebacker. What was his main job? Stop Saquon Barkley. That is what he did. 4 tackles. One of them was for a loss. Made sure that he just did his job. Stayed inside. Didn't give up any massive plays. That wasn't where the Eagles were getting their work done, was on the interior. They were doing their work on the outside, deep downfield. And yeah, Chenal did everything he was supposed to do. He was not the reason that the Chiefs lost. So honestly, it might not be exciting, but this is what it is, guys. This is the final list here.
And unfortunately, we do not have a Super Bowl champion this year.
Nope.
Maybe next year. Maybe next year.
We do a full season's worth of this. We'll have a much bigger list, I think, total.
Oh yeah.
But this is it, guys. I mean, you guys are now on the list officially. So
lock it in.
Guys that are not going to be on the list next year, I think we have to just say the top, these guys do not get to be on the list next year. Maybe even all of them. Maybe you have our attention and up. Do not get to be on the list next year.
Really?
You know what I mean? Where it's just like...
You don't think we'd get rid of the bottom ones and see if the other ones in the middle can rise still?
Well, because these guys, I think, are still quiet, you know? That, like, you know, these guys... Like, Tylan Wallace could just show up and have, 3 games in a row, 100-plus yards, and suddenly now he has our attention. But I doubt it. You know who's not going to be on the list again is Mike Williams. There's no shit. I'm not saying we start with them on the list, but I'm saying like these guys might have performed well enough that they're no longer quiet players.
Oh, they no longer qualify.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Like the other guys can still be considered quiet players, but like maybe you have our attention. There's a decision to be made. Like Peyton Wilson maybe could, Darnell Mooney, who knows? But yeah, I think honestly, like you guys, you finished in the echelon of guys that are no longer considered quiet players. So good job. Yeah, I think we just go anything that's red, you're no longer a quiet player. No longer quiet players here. These guys are all quiet. They all get to hang out still.
Okay, well, we do have free agency period coming up. We do have, some trades that could happen. We'll workshop it. But yeah, this full list will not be here. Starting next year. No, it will not. It will not. Maybe we'll get rid of In Memoriam too. We can put him in our couch coach graveyard, which would be a special it'll be a special shirt. We'll make merch for it once we get enough In Memoriam players. It'll be the couch coach graveyard hoodie. It'll be the faces of all the players that have rest in peace on our tiers.
Yeah, I think so.
One of them will have Marquise's face on it.
Perfect.
Is that
got one more for him? More. Yeah, of course.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we had Deshaun in Memoriam. He's dead.
Been in there for a few years. He's been in there for a few years. But lock it in, guys. This is it. These players, they've battled hard all year. They've locked in their places. There's nothing else to show. If you're not where you want to be, too bad. Get better. Do better. Be better. McCaffrey. Okay, we're adding all the players.
I just throw random stuff in here.
We're adding all the players, and we're gonna transition. Check this out, Johnny. In our next segment, Instant Replay, we get behind the booth for when our viewers need coverage on the biggest sports stories from a different angle. I know you were intently focused on the Luka debut. What did you see with that, Johnny? How'd that debut go?
It looked pretty good. Now let me tell you, shout out to the NBA for making it so that, I mean, it's serendipitous sometimes how the NBA works, where Luka's debut was against the other team in that trade, and former Laker Jalen Hood Schifino. I mean, what a beautiful story. You couldn't write it any better. Look at Dante. So anyway, joking aside, it honestly looks great, and they were playing Luka on a minutes restriction. He only played 24 minutes because he is coming back from a minor injury. Hasn't played since Christmas, so they were playing him on a minute restriction just to feel it out. But man, there's this level to where when LeBron's playing the best he's played in years right now, when what they seem to be doing is staggering the two. So they come out together in the starting lineup, and then they stagger them as the game goes on. So almost always for the entirety of the game, one of them is on the court.
Which is
now, there are certain sets where it's both. But when you have one on the court, what it is they're two of the best ball vision, court vision passers in the league, and they're both guys that you kind of have to double. So when you do it, it opens up, there's always a guy on the court that will get the ball where it has to be and draw the defense, especially with how well LeBron's playing right now. He is now drawing the defense. I mean, he just dropped 40, 2 nights ago or last week against the Knicks. Like, he's playing amazing. He's drawing the defense, getting the ball where it has to go, giving dudes like Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura crazy wide open threes, absolutely uncovered. Luka's doing the same thing for him in that. And then, man, when they're both on the court at the same time, it doesn't matter that they have defensive flaws right now, even with the Mark Williams trade going kaput. Like, they have defensive flaws, but it doesn't matter because on offense, you can literally do nothing against them. The ball will get where it has to go if LeBron and Luka are on the court at the same time. It just will. You know what I mean? Like, the three best ball control, like, maestros of the defense or of the offense in the league right now are LeBron, Luka, and Chris Paul. And Chris Paul is the only one that's like not an all-star level player anymore. So the other two are still all-star level players, all NBA level players. Yeah, now, granted, and I say this with all due respect, Kuji. I don't want to sound disrespectful at all. It was against the Jazz. So I don't want to get too out of my I don't want to get too ahead of my skis, but it's very exciting, and it does look like they're going to be better than they were going to be with AD. So
I bet you we sweep them in a 7-game series.
You think so?
Oh, maybe 5-1. We'd give them a home win.
It would, yeah, gentlemen's sweep. It was a boat race. It wasn't even close.
I know. It was terrible.
And that was with Luka on a minutes restriction. Luka was playing 24 minutes, so.
Yeah, like what, 14 points, like 5 rebounds, 4 assists, something like that?
Yeah, just fine. So, but it looked really good. It looked really dominant. It looked like both of them were in full control when they were on the court. They weren't running into each other. There didn't seem to be a clashing of who's in control at any moment. I think it's just going to work, man. Like, I think it's actually going to work really well. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see the Lakers in the conference finals this year. Yeah, provided they both stay healthy.
I think it goes deeper than stats with that too. Like, you can't just look at the stats. You have to almost eye test it, like we've said before. But like you said, it's going to look better. It just is. Like, the offense is going to be more crisp. It's going to run more efficiently.
Yeah, when you've got a newly invigorated Luka, because he's already an angry player. He's already a guy that plays with a chip on his shoulder. And now he has the best revenge story ever, maybe in the history of the NBA. Like, the most I have to prove you wrong, you slighted me. Like, he has maybe the biggest chip on his shoulder ever. And then you also have LeBron, who is newly invigorated. That it's like, he probably thought in his heart of hearts, I'm not going to win another championship, and I have to make my peace with that. And I'm just going to play out my career, play a few seasons with my son, and get my career numbers up and ride off in the sunset. And now it seems like, oh, I might be able to do this. I might be able to get number 5, because now, for the first time in my career, I'm playing with someone better than me.
Yeah.
And that could be exciting. Because I love Anthony Davis. He's a great player. But I don't think there was ever a point where he was better than LeBron that whole time that they were teamed up. And I think it's inarguable that Luka's better than him.
No, they said LeBron tried to give him the keys and Anthony didn't take them.
Yeah, and so there wasn't even a question. Luka, did you hear the story? I just saw Rachel Nichols was talking about this. Luka gets there.
About the LeBron texts the organization? Him. Oh, nope, keep going.
No. LeBron texts him and says, so for your debut night, we're going to do whatever you want to do as far as the roster, or when they announce the lineup. We're going to do whatever you want to do. And Luka goes instantly, I want to be the last one announced. So day one took the driver's seat from LeBron. There was no meekness, no sheepishness. LeBron said, if you want it, it's yours. And he said, cool, it's mine.
Yeah.
And
he said LeBron let him have that moment.
Yeah, that LeBron pretty much said, "It's yours if you want it," and he said, "It is mine, thank you," and took it. But now what they're saying is that next game, LeBron will take it again. That it'll go back to LeBron, but that for this one flash in a pan moment, LeBron said, "If it is yours, if you want to be the guy on this team, I am giving it to you." And he said, "All right, gladly."
Now,
So I'm glad to see that.
Luka's that guy, man. The playoffs are going to be hype. Denver, you got Luka
Yeah.
Lakers. Anthony Edwards. I mean,
Yeah, and Memphis is
OKC,
just quietly really
Memphis.
good.
The Rockets
Yeah.
didn't start off hot. I think they lost I want to say it's like 6 straight, something like that now.
Yeah, they're just like, I think the Rockets are OKC with less draft picks and a year or two behind. You know what I mean? Like, they will get there, but you just have to like let them get there.
Right.
They have a lot of draft picks. They don't have as many as OKC, and they have really good young players, but not as many as OKC, and they're not as far along. So they're going to get there. Spurs are going to get there.
They do got the better coach though. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know that OKC's coach name by memory. Like I've seen it before, but
Oh man,
it's like some random guy.
Yeah, I know it too. It's some French shit. It's like Danault. Damn, it's like Mark Danault or something. Hold on, let me remember his name.
Yeah, Mark Daignault.
Daignault. Yeah. I knew it was Mark. It's like Mark French last name, Daignault.
Homie was at Holy Cross for 3 years as an assistant. Florida as an assistant. He was with the Oklahoma City Blue for 5 years. Yeah, he's been with the Thunder his entire NBA career.
Yeah, I'm not going to poo-poo him, but I also am not going to poo-poo Udoka, who is good. That's a good coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ime Udoka's a good coach.
Just one slip-up in his career. Just one.
Yeah.
And you know what? We would argue. We all probably do the same. No, I'm just...
I didn't say that. Hey, man, I didn't say that. Because I don't know what he did. The question is, we don't really know what he did, so I'm not going to say that I
He didn't do anything, did he? He just had relations.
We don't know that.
What do you mean we don't know that? Wait.
That's his narrative, but we don't know that for a fact.
Did she say something else?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's a bunch of stuff that is not public knowledge, so I'm not going to say I would have done what Ime Udoka did because I don't know what he did. All I'm going to say is he's a good coach. He was the head coach of the Celtics for one season and got him to the championship. That's all I know about Ime Udoka, okay?
All right, listen, then. I'm not saying I would have did what I would have did if he would have did it too.
Yeah. I don't know what he did.
But what I'm saying is, though, assuming there was nothing illegal done, it was just relations between two human beings.
Two consenting adults?
Consensual adults?
Yeah.
We would all did that.
Right, of course. But once again, I don't know all the situation or whatever, so,
but
yeah.
You're right. We don't know. We don't know the full details.
I don't know, but would you cheat on your wife? There you go.
Don't start me lying now, Johnny. Lakers.
Right. We move on.
You'll have to ask me when I have one. I don't know yet. No. Lakers.
Depends on my wife.
Yeah, depends.
Would you cheat on your wife? Depends on who my wife is.
It all depends. I don't know. It's like, do you know how you'd react if the KKK knocked on your door? Like, I could tell you everything about what I might do, but I don't know until they show up.
Gun. Next.
Lakers. Trade for Mark Williams has been rescinded after the 7-foot center failed his physical. Now, I'm not even going to get into the physical. We're not going to get into Mark Williams. There's only one person that matters to talk about in this whole trade. Dalton Knecht. How do you feel? How should he feel? And how would you feel if you just got shipped out of town and the only reason you're back is because the player they wanted failed a physical? How do you handle that?
I'm going to say you feel 10% some type of way. 10% like, what the fuck, man? but 90% relief
You're not on the Hornets.
that you're not on the Charlotte Hornets. Yeah, bro. Honestly, it's like, because you would go like, if you're Dalton Connect, you're going, you know what, man? I'm a rookie.
Yeah.
I'm a redundant player on this roster. They need rim protection. They need a strong front court presence. I don't offer that. I get it. I understand why they did it. But you're a little pissed. You're like, come on, man. I thought like I could like have a career here. But it like makes sense. You know what I mean? Like Dalton Connect doesn't give anything new to the team that they are missing.
Right.
But if you're Dalton Connect, you're just happy that you're like, all right, I'm still in Los Angeles. I'm still playing for the Lakers with LeBron, with Luka, competing for championships, and I'm not out there in bumfuck Charlotte. My apologies, Charlotte, but that is the most poverty NBA franchise since Alonzo Mourning left. You don't have a team. LaMelo Ball is the most Mickey Mouse joke star in the NBA.
Wow, the Melo slander.
LaMelo Ball, yeah, bro. Win one thing, then I'll take you seriously. You are the definition of an empty stats player. I do not take LaMelo Ball seriously at all. Not even a little bit.
You don't think the Lakers are taking over Luka?
No, what are you talking about? No, LaMelo Ball is like a joke highlight player that like he's the Harlem Globetrotters, not even. Like at least the Harlem Globetrotters beat the Generals consistently. No, I don't want to be too big of a hater, but I'm also like, bro, like I just don't consider you a legitimate star because you don't win. You just put up. That is the biggest definition of empty stats in the entire league. Am I wrong?
No, you are.
Like,
so I guess you don't think he got
I'm
snubbed
wrong?
from the All-Star game.
Hell no.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, like. No, I'm like, there are so many superstars in the league. Like, you're not the guy, Melo. Like, do something. Like Damian Lillard was carrying through the West, was carrying really weak Portland rosters to the playoffs and being competitive. There are guys like, there are guys that have been in worse situations and in more competitive conferences that have dragged teams. I mean, Trae Young with the Hawks, like, has gotten the Hawks to higher places than LaMelo has even sniffed.
Right.
Like, I just go, in an 82 game season, bro, it does kind of matter if you're winning, and especially with a 10-team playoff now in each conference, it kind of matters at this point.
But
like,
he's in Charlotte, though.
Yeah, bro, you can't be worse than. It doesn't matter. Like,
you think that team wins with Luka on that team?
Yes, I think they're a play-in team.
I don't think anybody in the
they're
world
a play-in
can make Charlotte good, bro. If you put that same,
they're like a 9. They're an 8 or 9 seed.
Bro, if you put the same Thunder roster just in Charlotte with a Hornets jersey on, they're gonna be second to last in the East. I'm telling you, bro,
I don't think it's that bad.
Something
man.
about that jersey, bro. When you put that shit on, you just feel like you suck.
Bro, that team has a. I just want to let you know, just so we have it on record. They're 13-38. They have the 5th or the 4th worst record in the NBA.
It could be worse.
What?
It could be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse. You could be the Washington Wizards with 9-44,
or the Utah
Jazz with 12-40, or the New Orleans Pelicans with 12-41. But otherwise,
LaMelo's led his team to more wins than Zion.
Yeah, bro, Zion, who has been a generational bust. So, I mean, who literally hasn't existed, who hasn't played, who's not a real guy. Zion's a concept.
He's a character.
He's a theoretical
he's a character
concept.
at this point. He's just a character.
Yeah.
He's just like...
he's a theoretical idea of something that might possibly be, but does not actually exist. Yeah, bro, I'm sorry. When the 10 seed in the East right now is the Chicago Bulls with 22-32 record. They're 10 wins below 500, and that's what a play-in team in the East is. I'm sorry, you have literally no excuse. Who's on the Bulls? Who the fuck is on the Bulls?
Kobe White.
Kobe White.
He's a beast.
Bro, that's what I'm saying, bro.
They had Zach LaVine. They had Zach LaVine.
Yeah, bro, I don't want to hear shit about LaMelo Ball. I don't want to hear shit about LaMelo Ball. If you can't get your team...
Chicago. Who's Chicago? Chicago has Lonzo, don't they?
He doesn't play.
Yeah, he does. Just not that much.
Yeah, he's not real. That's another theoretical concept. Zion Williamson and Lonzo Ball, theoretical concepts.
The most successful Ball brother would have been Jello, after all.
Yeah, I mean, look, like, Melo is... They always said Melo would be the best player, and he is objectively the best player. I wouldn't take that away from him. But I'm not going to take you seriously as an NBA star until you at least can make a play-in game. Is that so unreasonable in the pitiful East?
Okay, you don't think the Warriors would take him over Jimmy Butler? Splash Bros 2.0?
Like, I mean, maybe just as like a projection thing because he's really young. But like, I just go, bro, you have to, like, the pitiful Pistons are doing way better than you. The Pistons are like a game above 500. They were the worst. They had one of the worst records ever last year. Yeah,
but they have a good coach though. And
the Pistons went on the longest win-lose streak ever in NBA history last season. And then in one season, they are now at above 500. Bro, LaMelo. If it's really the team, get out of there.
Yeah.
Like, you need to force your way out, bro. But I think I don't think he's actually a competitor though. Like, I think he's totally at peace.
Yeah, he's okay being the guy in Charlotte and just kind of riding it.
He's totally at peace with just putting up the numbers, getting his paycheck, having a army of middle schoolers who love him. And because, like, have you ever met somebody over the age of like 17 that loves LaMelo Ball? Like, I don't think it exists.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
No,
like, I say med, I mean like see on the internet.
Right, right. I mean, Charlotte probably. I mean, if you think about it, Charlotte probably loves him as much as like some of the other teams love their stars. So, I mean, I guess why, if you really don't care about winning, why would you want to go where you're not the guy?
Yeah, bro. I don't know. Like, all it took was Julius Randle, a guy who has been like a third option for his whole career, to come to New York and lift us out of a decade of mediocrity. Yeah, poverty, really. I mean, worse than mediocrity. Like, unwatchable basketball. And LaMelo, you can't... I'm just saying, 22 wins. 22 wins is the play-in tournament right now. And you can't even sniff that. You're 10 wins behind.
They got time. They got time.
They do have time. They do have time, and maybe you can prove me wrong, LaMelo, but I'm a LaMelo hater, and I'm sorry that we're not going to spend a lot of time on Mark Williams.
No. And they got Mark Williams. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah. I was say Grant Williams, who I was thinking. They got Grant Williams, too.
Yeah. Fine player. Funny player.
Funny player.
He's the funniest looking player in the NBA.
He looks funny. He looks like a
He looks really funny.
He looks like a golem.
Yeah, he's right. He's like the Grant Williams poll. You ever seen the Grant Williams poll?
No. When he talked to that girl?
No. There's a pole in one of the arenas that has Grant Williams' face on it, but it like wraps around the pole.
No. That's funny.
I'm gonna just keep talking. I'm gonna find this image and stream it. So you see the Grant Williams pole.
But now, if I'm Dalton Connect, I mean, I'm happy I'm not in Charlotte, obviously. But, like, bro, I'm not gonna lie. These motherfuckers are gonna see me in practice every day. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, I would probably be on some Jimmy Butler type shit in practice. Not where I'm, like, leaving and doing a whole interview and shit, but, like, where I'm really out here, like, I'd say put me with the backups. He's gonna be with the backups anyway. But, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think I'm trying to prove a point. Like, you guys just tried to get rid of me. You thought I was replaceable. Obviously, I don't offer what you guys were looking for, but I'm still trying to prove to you guys that you made a mistake, even though, obviously, that mistake was undone. I don't know. Tough situation. I'd probably just be like, yo, I don't want to be in Charlotte, but I don't really want to be here anymore either. They actually were talking. Charlotte is trying to see... Charlotte is trying to see if they can. That's hilarious. They're trying to see if they can move Mark Williams after the deadline because of that. Because they think that the Lakers failed him on purpose. Because I guess apparently LeBron's camp had issue with Luka getting sway, and Luka was supportive of the Mark Williams trade. So after, I guess, disapproval from LeBron's camp, there's a theory, disapproval from LeBron's camp, they failed the physical to nullify the trade. But the Hornets are challenging that physical.
I saw Rachel Nichols talking about this, and she said the way the NBA rules are written currently for the process of a physical is that you could fail somebody for their physical because, in her words, if they have a hangnail. Like, you can fail someone for a physical for literally any reason, and as far as the NBA is concerned, you're allowed to do that. Right. So it's like the Hornets really don't have any recourse.
Well, because my thought is really this: like, how does a grown ass superior physical athlete ever fail a physical? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Williamson.
Unless you just got hurt, you know, that's different. But like, if you're just been playing, you just got traded, no issues with you, and like they didn't find, like, obviously in the case of Karis LeVert, they found cancer, right? Like, if they don't find, and even then they honored the trade, I think, and they helped him. But
yeah, they did. They honored the trade.
But even then, though, if you don't find something crazy like that, like, how can you fail a physical? Like, in my mind, I'm thinking a physical is just like, all right, show us you're in shape, run up and down the court, like, do some drills real quick, right? We'll
normally a physical is like in relation
between your leg and your testes and have you cough, and, you know, we'll check.
Normally a physical, I think, is in relation to like recovery from an injury that you sustained and where are you actually at in that process.
Okay, so he must have been hurt at some point.
Yeah, he is.
Oh no, he was, because they said he's played 40% of his games in his career.
Right. Yeah, he does have a history of injury. That's where it's like a lot less suspicious to me. Where I'm like, yeah, bro, it'd be one thing if they said like Luka failed this physical, then I'd be like, that's dumb. But because it's like he hasn't been an injury prone guy.
Right. But the Mavs could have easily failed Anthony Davis in his physical. Easily. Like, dude's hurt right now, and he came in hurt.
That would be funny if like that trade comes out and the Mavs like see how many people are mad at them, and they're like, oh shit, Anthony Davis fucking can't walk. Physical failed. Get him out of here. Sorry, Luka, come back.
Oh God! And while we're on that trade, not gonna get too much into it. I watched it. Anthony Davis debut, we basically got the classic, I was telling you, Johnny, the classic Anthony Davis experience. Yep. That team would not have won that game without him. He put up like 36 points, something like that, in 3 quarters. Mm-hmm. But dude did not finish the game.
No, he did not. And he's out for at least a month.
Really?
I think he's technically...
I saw it was an abductor.
Yeah, I think technically it is listed as indefinitely, I believe, is the actual thing, but it's at least a month.
So now they really traded Luka for a bag of chips.
For nothing. They effectively traded him for nothing. It's the dumbest trade ever.
Max Christie.
Max Christie, shout out Max.
He's not playing bad, but he's not the piece you want out of that trade.
Yeah. No, you could have literally gone, hey, I mean, okay, I don't want to keep on harping on it, but
the Tatum,
all I can think is you could have called the Spurs and said, hey, give me literally everything except for Wembanyama. You are going to have a 2-man roster. You're going to run out 2 guys against 5 every night. It's going to be Wemby and Luka. And the Spurs would go, yes, would you like me to also throw in a blowjob? And it would have been over. That would have been an easy trade. You could have done the same thing with the Rockets. Give me literally everything except for Şengün, and I will give you Luka Doncic. And they would have gone, all right, we're in. Do you want Ime too? We'll give you Imo Udoka. What do you want? Like, the Spurs would have been like, you want Pop too? You want Tim Duncan? You want we'll give you everybody. Right. We don't care. You know, we'll give you Tony Parker if you want him.
I guess they did. There was a report they did try to contact the Bucks and the Timberwolves, but obviously they weren't giving up Giannis for Luka, and they weren't going to give up Anthony Edwards for Luka either.
Anthony Edwards is interesting. That's a weird one. Giannis, I understand. I just go, he won you a chip. He's one of two players that's comparable in terms of skill level to Luka.
And he's a freak of nature.
Right, he's a freak. He is Milwaukee to the core.
See, the NBA is good with nicknames.
The Greek Freak. Yeah, that's the best nickname in the league, I think. The Greek Freak is the best one. The problem with the NBA is there's so many nicknames that are just initials.
Yeah.
Like Cat. And I know Bodega Cat's good, but like before he was just Cat. Or like Jimmy Buckets. It's like that's pretty weak.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards is just Ant or Ant-Man. Weak. Like that's weak as hell. Like even the Joker is fine, but it's still pretty weak. The Greek Freak, that's an all-time nickname. That's one of the best nicknames. The Greek Freak. There aren't too many though.
Chris Paul, CP3.
It's weak.
But you don't feel like the CP3 is kind of iconic though?
It's iconic in the sense that everyone calls him that. Like, you know what's a good one? The Brow. The Brow is a good nickname. The Beard is a good nickname.
He doesn't even go by the Brow anymore.
No, I know, but I'm saying the Brow, the Beard, those were cool. The Claw, when people used to call Kawhi the Claw, that was sick.
Oh.
Yeah. But they don't call him that anymore. But he was the Claw for a while. That was sick. And I'm trying to think if there's any other like really fun ones off the dome. Like PG-13 almost gets it away with it because that like works as a second thing, but it also is just his initials and his number, so it doesn't work anymore.
Right.
I do like that like Porzingis was like the unicorn, like he was the first one that was called the unicorn, is kind of sick. That's cool. I'm trying to think. I wish Brunson had a nickname. He really doesn't, but it's also like the only thing I've heard is that in China they call him Big Head. I've heard that Chinese fans of Brunson call him Big Head, and it's like a thing that I think it's China. I could be wrong.
Girls or guys?
No, it's a thing in China, I guess, where I could be wrong. I might be wrong about the country, but I'm pretty sure it's China, where you are not considered a superstar until the fans and the announcers give you a nickname, and then you are a superstar. You know you are. And they call Brunson Big Head.
How do you say big head in Chinese?
I have no idea. I didn't learn that.
And is it Chinese or Mandarin? Are those
Mandarin.
So it's
it's effectively the same thing. But
Mandarin is when you speak it, and it's Chinese when you write it, or is it Mandarin when you write it too?
I think they're just kind of like. I think Mandarin is a simplified version of traditional Chinese. Yes, it's a simplified version of the traditional Chinese language.
Are Mandarin oranges from China?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Whoa.
I don't think so. Because I don't think China has a tropical environment for growing oranges.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
The shit you learn.
Yeah. But anyway.
But we're gonna move along, Johnny. The performer at the Super Bowl halftime show. He held up a flag for Gaza, Sudan, and he's been banned from NFL stadiums. Now, he's not facing any criminal charges, but for a few hours, there was the possibility that he may.
Okay, that's the only thing I want to speak out with this. Obviously, free Gaza. We on the corner like Israelites. You already know. But that's the Earl Sweatshirt bar. You seen that one?
No.
You go, free Gaza. We on the corner like Israelites. That's one of my favorite. It's such a fun bar. But I know, free Gaza. You already know. You see my wall. I'm with the people. But it's so goofy to me that they were even talking about. They put out a statement. We've decided that we're not going to level any charges against the performer. It's like, yeah, bro, he didn't do anything illegal.
You just
Like,
pull out a flag.
right, like if he wasn't supposed to be there, it was trespassing, then you could say, hey man, we're getting him for trespassing. Like, just like we get anybody who storms the field of the Super Bowl trespassing. Like, that's fine. But like, he didn't do anything illegal. He was supposed to be there, and all he did was make a political statement, which is fully allowed and legal.
Which was
now,
the
if you
whole
want to ban
show
him from
was.
the NFL,
The whole show was about
right?
that.
Yeah, but that being said, though, there's one thing you're not allowed to make a statement on publicly in the American media. Let's be real here. Like, there's one thing that they don't allow you to do, and that's you cannot say "Free Gaza" publicly. If you're, they will cut you off. They will mute your mic. They will. It's just you're not allowed to do it.
Right.
So, yeah, it's like too many. Both political parties don't support it. Too many foreign interests and military interests and corporate interests are tied up in America's alliance with Israel. So it's not a take you're allowed to have. So at least as far as like on TV. So I understand why they didn't show it.
Do we really depend on Israel that much?
It's a foothold in the Middle East. It is our number one ally in the Middle East. They're not our only ally. We're technically allies with Turkey, and we're allies with. We are major trade partners and allies-ish with Saudi Arabia. It's a weird one.
I was gonna say,
we have a very tense relationship with Saudi Arabia, but we don't go to war with them. We have a huge trade relationship with them, and we like sell them missiles and we sell them weapons. So like we try to have a good relationship with Saudi Arabia, especially since MBS took power. That is Mohammed bin Salman, the young crown prince of he's like the guy that is trying to change Saudi Arabia's brand. He's the guy that at least their world facing brand. He's the guy that made it so women can drive, and they're a lot more open to tourism, and he is a lot more favoring diplomacy and traveling around, all that fun stuff. I don't want to get too far into politics, but yes, that is the most, I think, as far as American alliances across the world, that is probably top 5 most important as far as the American military is concerned.
Okay.
Is real because it's an unwavering alliance. All the other Middle Eastern alliances are conditional.
By whoever is in charge, basically.
Right. We fund Israel. Like, Israel does not exist without U.S. support. So it is like unconditional alliance. We are now allowed to put all our missiles there. We can put nukes there. We can put nuclear defense systems there. We can so on and so forth. It is one of the most important strategic alliance options for America, to the point where we will overlook some of the heinous crimes that they commit against the people in the Gaza Strip and Palestine as a whole. That, I'm just saying from a point of view of the U.S. military complex.
Right.
That,
well, I mean, it is kind of crazy, though, to think, like, you just not going to say anything because you got too much tied up in it. I mean, I get it, though. It's like, it's not the same scenario, but I guess it's like if you lived with somebody, right, and you didn't want to like rock the boat, right? They did this that you didn't like, they did this you didn't like, but if you say something, you might not have a place to live. So you don't say anything, you deal with it, you overlook it. I guess like one might do for a loved one, right? You might see a crime. Now, I'd hope you'd report all crimes, but you might see a crime you'd report for a stranger that if you saw your spouse do it, for example, you might tend to overlook it because your whole life is tied up into your spouse. So yeah, it makes sense strategically, just human to human. I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah. It's like that is like the most simple, not getting into all the weeds and like the history and all of that. Like there's a lot obviously behind that goes into the Israel Palestine conflict and all that fun stuff. I'm not going to go super deep into it, but just as far as like why the US is like you are not allowed to publicly have the opinion against Israel, it is mostly because that is the alliance that we value the most. If it's not number one, it is top 5.
Right. But do you think Kendrick didn't know about this though? Like Kendrick had to have known this was gonna happen. And I feel like Kendrick would have. He probably would have.
I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't know, but I think I don't think he would have said you can't do it.
Like I feel like that's right up his alley. I feel like.
Yeah, no, Kendrick also does toe the line. Like I like Kendrick a lot, but Kendrick does stop short of saying a lot of things. There are things that I think he believes, but he won't say because he knows it'll affect his public image.
Which will thus affect the ability he has to impact with the stuff that he can say.
Right. Like he is making a calculated play on what he will speak out against and what he thinks will set him back too far as a radical.
Right. So yeah, it could even be some shit where he's like, you can do it, but just they can't know I told you that you could.
Right. Yeah. Like I think if you ask me, like, what do I think that Kendrick Lamar's belief is on the Israel-Palestine conflict? Like, I think it's not even a question. The man is 100% free Palestine. If you ask me really what I think Kendrick Lamar's belief on it, I would say he's probably closer to the. I don't know this person. I don't know Kendrick. I'm just guessing. This is just off vibes alone. I think he might be closer to the Farrakhan end of the persuasion, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if he's more on the Kyrie Irving end of things, right. Where, which obviously I don't count myself amongst, but at the very least, though, I believe that he is unambiguously pro free Palestine.
Right. Well, I just think it's crazy too, though. Like banning from all state. Like, it's one thing to be like, all right, just don't do it again. And if you do it again, then okay. But like, not even a warning or nothing. You just ban from all.
No, bro. And if he pulled out something that said Black Lives Matter, guarantee you it wouldn't have been a problem. If he pulled out something that
as far as the stadiums, we would have probably, honestly, you probably would have heard a lot more about it on social media from the demographics that didn't like Kendrick being there, but.
Right, but you're not even going to see them talk about that flag on major news stations because it is like on the news. You are not allowed to have that opinion. Whereas and it, like I said, it's just because there's so much money tied up in the support of America's alliance with Israel. But we've gotten very political. I didn't think we'd get this political.
It's like, why can't we just all love each other? Like, why can't we just support both and they support each other?
Yeah, it took hundreds and hundreds of years of religious differences and oppression is really the answer.
And we're not getting too political here, but like, bro, we all believe in the same shit. It's just different languages. It's just different expressions. We all believe the same shit.
I wish it were that easy, but unfortunately, it's not.
It's not.
And then you got bad actors on both ends of it, bro. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Like, I even hesitate to even criticize Israel because I literally am like, I don't want to be lumped in.
Both sides do bad things.
Like, I hesitate to, like, on our podcast criticize Israel because I don't want to be lumped in as an anti-Semite because I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm like, and I'm not telling you you're not allowed to support Palestine because there is some like giant like Jewish control conspiracy. Like, I don't think that. What I do think is that it's a that the military alliance and trade alliance with Israel is so integral to U.S. power abroad and our foothold in the Middle East, and there's so many billionaires with money tied up in that, Jewish or otherwise, that they are sending down, no matter what side of the aisle on, we are not going to amplify the belief that we are not going to amplify the take free Gaza. Right. That's just not going to happen.
But it is kind of like...
But I hesitate because there's so many bad actors that have jumped in on this now that are using this opportunity to inject anti-Semitism into the conversation. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what you have to, like, very tactfully speak about this conflict, because you don't want to come off as someone who agrees with them. Right.
But I also... To call you an anti-Semite because you disagree with some of the actions of a country would be like calling you anti-Muslim because you disagree with terrorism, or it'd be like calling you unpatriotic because you disagree with something America did. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I do want to make myself clear, by the way. I keep saying conflict. I do want to make myself clear. When I say conflict, what I mean is genocide. This is a genocide. By the way, for the record, inarguably, this is a genocide on behalf of Israel towards Palestine. Just to let everyone know, so you don't think that I'm obfuscating my belief at all. That is what this is.
Isn't that crazy though? When you have to elaborate yourself on both sides for both sides, so that neither side.
So what I'm telling you, folks, is like, I am not an anti-Semite. For you people over Israel is committing genocide against Gaza. That's what I'm letting you know. Like, I don't think the Jews are behind it, but I do think Israel is behind it. Does that make sense?
Oh boy. And with that, wrapping up our political conversation for tonight. Vote Johnny, vote Coogee 2028. Let's go.
Yep. We're not going to be able to vote in 2028. What are you talking about?
We'll make America couch again.
Make the couch coach again. Make couch coach again.
Make couch coach again. We're gonna wrap up. We got two more stories, Johnny. We're gonna hit the snooze button on the people want to know. Run a little over. That's all right. We'll wrap up with that next time. We'll continue. But
I mean, we went, honestly, that became the people want to know.
That did.
I was just talking about politics for a minute.
People want to know. They didn't even ask. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets parting ways. I was a couple months early. I want to say this. I may admit my calibration on the clock in my prophetic mind. It was 2 months behind when I made that prediction. We've since recalibrated. We've updated. If I made this prediction now, I would say 225. But he's no longer going to be on the Jets. He's still technically on the roster, I believe. But they are parting ways, Johnny. Not much to talk on this. We've talked about Aaron Rodgers so much on this podcast. Talked about him so much, you would think that we love him. One of us hates him. The other one's impartial. I still think he's a bad man, but
the funniest thing that could possibly happen for our podcast, and I kind of think it would be great just for the content, would be if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Steelers. It would be really funny. It'd be hilarious, because you would watch me for a full season have an existential crisis about whether I can trust my team's decision making going forward. But it would be really funny. It'd be great content. I guarantee you,
though, if he won you a bowl, you'd flip.
Oh, bro, I would. Yeah, bro. If he won the bowl, are you kidding me? I would be the biggest. I would be like, I'm not vaccinating my kids. The measles vaccine is gonna.
The flu is a conspiracy.
The flu is fake. I'd be fucking boofing ayahuasca. Why? I'd be boofing ayahuasca in pitch black darkness. I'd be going nuts.
Oh my god. Oh boy, but nah. All I'm gonna say is this: Aaron Rodgers, complete the prophecy. Go to Minnesota. We need to see it.
That would be funny.
We need to see it. following
It would be
Aaron.
so dumb. Honestly, like, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, bro, I'd rather retire than go to the Vikings. Just because of how stupid it would be. It would be so fucking dumb.
But it'd be a big fuck you to Brett Favre if he's going to be, you know what, I'm going to go everywhere you went, and I'm going to overwrite everything you ever did.
Yeah, except I'm going to go
Brett
everywhere
Favre
you
had
went,
a better
but worse.
season. Brett Favre had a better season with the Jets.
Right,
Yeah.
and he went to like the NFC Championship with the Vikings. So I'd be like, you have to then go to the like. I'm gonna do everything you did, but worse.
I mean, 14-3 with Darnold. Then again, who knows? Darnold could be a dude too. We'll see. Jury's still out. He finished a little rough. Moving along. Kellen Moore, like you mentioned, you are incorrect, Johnny. Kellen Moore is going to be the new coach of the New Orleans Saints. Now, I won't ask if he did it to save on an airplane ticket or to get those hotel points, but do you think he will have a successful career in New Orleans? And by success, I don't mean Super Bowl. I don't mean even making it far in the playoffs, but I mean doing better than what we expect the Saints to be.
Do I think that Kellen Moore will ever have a winning record in his entire tenure with the New Orleans Saints? That's the question you should ask me.
That's the question.
No.
I
don't think he'll ever finish with a winning record. I think he will get fired before he has a winning record.
Do you think he'll win the division with a losing record? Because it's possible in that division.
Certainly possible. It's certainly possible. Oh, you know what? I want to throw in one before we go. And this is because you brought up this division, and it just made me start thinking. We haven't been doing Sports Stradamus in a while. I just want to throw one out there before I forget it.
We'll get it in there.
All right, one. I just have a gut feeling on this. Okay. I genuinely think after seeing the clips of him going Duval,
yeah, it's hilarious, bro.
I gotta be honest, man.
No swag, but
I think Liam Cohn is legit. I think
that made you think he was legit, bro.
Here's what I think.
Do you look at him though, bro? He doesn't even look like a.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't look like a person, bro. He looks crazy.
He doesn't. He looks like Quasimodo, bro. Okay, here's my thought, right? Have you ever met a dude with less aura, who has no swag, no charisma, he's a goofy looking guy, and he is so impressive in the meeting room. He is such a genius with whatever he does that the Bucs went, we will make you the highest paid offensive coordinator in the history of the NFL. And the Jags went, we will pay you like you are a long-term, tenured, experienced head coach, and we'll fire Trent Baalke for you. And that guy is so, it's not off of how cool he is, how good he is in the room, off of his relationships, off of like, he's got that it factor. No, the dude is just that good at his job that you overlook all of it to go, I have to mortgage my entire future on this goofy ass Quasimodo looking motherfucker because he's that impressive. I'm telling you, bro, I think he is going to be an all-timer.
So you don't think he's like Mike McDaniels?
I don't know. No. Bro, I think it's like I think it's because Mike McDaniel is like charismatic and funny. You know what I mean? Like he's funny, like he's trying to be funny and he makes you laugh. Liam Cohen is like not trying to be funny and is just goofy and cringy. And he's like Duval. Like he does that like head tilt when he does it. This like kind of turtley ass Duval. Bro, I think he's all time material, bro. I think
they said the Bucs were pissed when he left.
That's what I'm saying.
Because he initially told the Jags no. Then the Bucs made him our highest offensive coordinator, and then he left. Man.
I think he's going to unlock Trevor Lawrence. I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be like good. Like, I don't know what it is, man, but like everyone else is like, this guy's going to fucking suck. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like Dan Campbell showed up and said bite kneecaps. And everyone was like, this guy's going to fucking suck. And I'm just going, man, this guy came up and said Duval. And I think he's going to be, I think he's special, bro. Man. I think this dude's special.
Do you remember Adam Gase's interview, bro? Where his eyes, bro, where he was like, do you remember that with Adam Gase?
Adam Gase like was never like taken seriously or liked.
Nah, bro, he literally was a quarterback. He was a quarterback whisperer. You know who was a quarterback whisperer for? Peyton fucking Manning, bro. A lot of whispering you did there.
Yeah, I think Gase like yeah, Peyton Manning and then what, Ryan Tannehill, because he was on the Dolphins as well.
Yeah.
Like I and not even the best version of Ryan Tannehill. Like Arthur fucking Smith made him better than that.
Right. So like, bro, if you're a quarterback whisperer, you cannot be a quarterback whisperer if your only time you were good with a quarterback was when he was a Hall of Famer.
When you were one of the best, like maybe the third or fourth best quarterback ever in the history of the NFL.
Adam Gase is doing so good. Like, what? No shit.
Wow, what a guy. No, yeah. Adam Gase, though, like, was always thought of as an asshole that people didn't take seriously. Like, I don't think anybody really ever rocked with him. But, like, Liam Cohen, there are people that are, like, they're, like, trying to sue. Him. Like, these teams are trying to sue each other because they love Liam Cohen so much. And I'm like, this swagless, oraless, like, goofball, is that important to you guys? That you're, like, going to war with each other over it? It's just so funny. So, yeah, man, I think he's special.
I need a video clip of him walking up to Lil Duval and going to handshake and going like, Duval.
Yeah, the only thing I will give him, though, is I saw a video of him meeting all the players. And, like, you would think he's a guy that, like, can't decide whether he's going for a handshake or a dap, and he, like, gets mixed up in the middle. But he isn't, bro. He goes through, like, Matt Ryan. Like, just... You ever seen the video of Matt Ryan, like, going through and, like, shaking every white dude's hand, and then he gets to Nate, God, I can't remember. Nate on CBS, or what's his name? Burleson, yes, Nate Burleson, and he bang perfect dap with Nate Burleson, and then moves on and keeps shaking all the white people's hands. I'm like, damn, bro, Matt Ryan's about it. That was Liam Cohen. I'll tell you what, too, man. Liam Cohen is so goofy. I keep forgetting his name.
You telling me he's like that Key and Peele, meme?
A little bit, like Obama. Yeah. Liam Cohen gives me Obama vibes.
That's a take.
That's nothing. I just made that up. But I might be the first person in the world to ever say that. So, Liam Cohen
the first NFL Obama Utah vibes. Jazz trivia in the first podcast to compare Liam Cohen to Barack Obama.
To Barack Hussein Obama.
We need Barack Obama to say Duval like that too now. We need them both.
Duval.
Oh God, nah. Yeah, Liam's probably that guy. But we got off topic. Kellen Moore, gone though. He's gone. No chance. All right, we'll see. If Kellen Moore wins the Super Bowl, we're gonna clip this, and me and Kellen Moore, we're gonna clown you together.
What do you think about Kellen Moore? You haven't made your take.
Ask me who the quarterback is in 2 years, and then I'll let you know.
No. I gave you a definitive Kellen Moore projection. The Kellen Moore prognosis. The Kellen Moore.
All right, here's this. If Spencer Rattler is 80% of the player that we thought he could be when he was at Oklahoma, a long time ago, but at Oklahoma, I think he's got a chance. I mean, Michael Penix is going to take, obviously, some time to get caught up to speed.
Michael Penix.
Michael Penix is going to take some time to get caught up to speed.
Of course.
And the Falcons. And then you go to the Panthers. They're dog shit doo-doo. They're not doing nothing. I mean, Bryce Young is improving. they're improving, but like they got some ways to go. And then who else in the division? Bucks.
The Bucks.
We'll see.
We'll see how important Liam Cohen actually is.
They lost that guy. They lost to Duval.
Duval.
So we'll see. We'll see. They could take a step back. Hey, hold on. Let's try to get it in sync. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Duval.
Oh wait, we were doing the. All right, hold loud. 3, 2, 1. Duval.
Yeah, I don't know, because there's gonna be a lag between us. I don't know if it's possible. Yeah.
No, that's gonna be gold though. Nah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna clip that Key and Peele clip, and I'm gonna put it over the audio. I was talking about Liam Cohen. We're doing dapping up.
Liam Cohen dapping. You're finding Matt Ryan dapping up everybody, or shaking all the people's hands and then dapping up Nate Burleson. I think it was Nate Burleson. I'm pretty sure it was Nate Burleson.
I'm either doing that clip or I'm doing the Key and Peele clip. One of the two.
You could do one where you could be like, look at John, he's so racist. He was dapping up Michael Strahan and he thought it was Nate Burleson or something. I'm almost certain it was Nate Burleson though.
Oh God. I can't wait to watch that replay and see how in sync we were. Nah, the movement might have been in sync, but the Duval was a little bit off. Duval was a little bit off.
We gotta do a Duval counter for this episode. I think I said Duval at least like 12 times.
Bro, I was texting this girl the other day, and she told me I had to have a shit counter because I guess I said shit like 6 times in a span of 3 texts, and I just say I was taught in 4th grade to not say stuff by Miss Athens. And I didn't have a word for stuff as a replacement up until the time that I became like 16, 17. And now instead of stuff, I just say shit. So
yeah, I think stuff sucks. I think that's a bad word anyway.
So I just say shit.
Things is better than stuff. Yeah.
Like, shit's better than ever. No. So anyway, so I was saying that, and she goes, we need to get you a shit counter because you say shit so many times. And she goes, if you do that on the pod, you got to get a shit counter for the pod. I got to go watch now and see. But if I need to get a whole hour-long video, if I say shit a lot, it's going to be a number just counting up all the shits. Shit, and there's 4 right there.
Well, I mean, in the intro, you used to say it multiple times. So,
oh, yeah.
You
right.
used to say, leave a comment,
but we might call... to say.
If you got some shit to say, leave a comment, but we might call cap, so that shit best not be whack.
That shit best not be whack.
You say it twice.
In the beginning and the end.
Scripted intro every time.
Yeah, I had shit in the script, so I know I was saying shit all through the show. But shit, we gonna wrap up.
Hell yeah.
But shit. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Couch Coach the Podcast, featuring an all-star staff of the best to never do it. Remember, now make sure you remember, without a couch, you're just a coach. And without a coach, it is just a couch. Just a couch. But with both,
couch.
With both, you are one of us. And yeah, one of those dusty couches too. Not even new. Not new.
It's got duct tape on it, covering up one of the rips.
Yeah, that way. But with both, you're one of us. Now don't forget, it's Johnny, it's Kuji, your favorite couch coaches. We'll see you guys next week. In the NBA edition, we are now an NBA show. Football is done.
Bing bong.
Go Jazz. Go Knicks. Bodega Cat. Bing bong, we out.
Bing bong.